2x2 formation. Road change now, we go racing for the first time this season. 3 hours of GT action, it's go.
This is very tight as they come down. Group of cars coming in, this has all got trouble written all over it. This is G3 cars.
Drop downhill, they head towards the Aqua Minerale. Imola, of course. There's another one off through the gravel. As wide as possible as they drop downhill, putting that from the inside line. Yes, he is. Through he goes.
Good evening and welcome to round 3 of AOR's Tier 1 GT3 Season 14. We are around Misano this evening for a full 90-minute race of back-to-back craziness from these absolute aliens we know as the fastest boys in the top split. Now, we will be joined by Tim, of course. He's running a little late, he's told me. I'm, as ever, RageF1, and I'll be taking you through, like I say, the next 90 minutes. Before we get there, though, show me a little roundup of what happened going into this third race of the season. Luke Whitehead off the bounce of 2 race wins, doing fantastically with 200 points. Running away with the championship so far in the lead. Then we've got Jardier, second place, 176 points for him in his V8 Vantage that he's been able to race very well this evening to, unfortunately, the cries and tears of Aidan Walsingham, who's a few places behind. Conrad Ciata, brilliant form this season. He's in third place with 144 points. He finished third place as well last time out. Aidan Walsingham in fourth with 127, and Valentine Barriott doing very well in the sidelines there in 5th place with 125. Moving on behind then, Mattia De Campo, Alex Torregrossa, Steve Favreau, Alejandro Alves and Remy Papin round out the top 10. And we're going to have 90 minutes of insane racing here. I assume it's going to be good fun. But let's just see if anyone's got anything up their sleeves to be able to put a stop to the mighty reign of Luke Whitehead so far this season. I will just double check to see if Tin has joined us this evening. He said he was mighty tight for time. I don't think he has, so he'll jump in, I'm sure, some way through this session. And just before he does, I think we should skip on through to the racing so you guys can see exactly what's happening as we go through into the qualifying session for this race. Now, Misano, one of those tracks that we don't really spend too much time in. It's always one that the guys like to race, but one typically we don't normally visit very often. Now, one thing we will have to take a little bit of care on is those track limit notifications, because I'm sure they will come thick and fast, and you will see actually in front of you that a lot more of those pesky liveries have been added onto these cars as Nigadam comes sideways into the pit wall as he is about to start some more free practice. Chris Warner, second place at the moment. Luke Whitehead currently taking the top spot with a 1:33.2. So there you go, mighty fine form for McLarens, Lamborghinis, and looks like Aston Martin's doing the business at the spiky end of the grid. We've got liveries all round from the boys, it seems. We're right on board with Jardier. Goes through turn 5 into turn 6. Only 40 seconds to go and we'll skip into the next session, guys. It's been a long time since we've raced with AOR around Misano. probably a good 4 seasons since we've come to this part of Italy. Now, I know we did have a few complaints of the driver's noise, the car noise, all that being a little bit low last time, so we've ramped that up for you. So hopefully we don't have any of those coming through for this season. Right, let's see what we've got in the way of updates, anything like that, because obviously we did have quite a few incidents going on when it comes to penalties. Not too sure if we've got anyone who's actually missing out on qualifying session this time around, because we do have quite a few of those penalty points being handed out. I think we are all good though. So far I can't see any notification that anyone will be missing out of a session at all. So we're all good for now, it seems. What's going on with this free practice session then? We're out of time. I'm going to go qualifying very shortly. Luke Whitehead then, class of the field. Jardier just behind. I think that's Chris Warner in 3rd place. Podins in 4th. All is a bit of a warm-up at this stage of the race, though. No harm done straight away. Right, fast forwarded then to the next session. Stay on board with Luke Whitehead, I think. Class of the field so far, current champion, coming reigning champion, 3-time, trying to make it 4 and doing a good job so far. Let's go on board with him. Luke Whitehead making it look easy there as he opens up his account for this afternoon. Goes to the top of the timing screens with 3 tenths to spare from Samir Foch in second place. It almost made it look easy, you know. Looks like he wasn't attacking that lap at all, but of course he was. Very drivable car, the Lamborghini it seems. Aidan Walsingham then in third place, also in the Lamborghini. Same team, same car. Let's go on board with the only other championship contender. I think he has actually just come across the line. Jardier just about to start a second lap, so probably on a cool down. Is currently up on his time. Luis doing much better behind him. He's got 3 tenths. He's in the middle sector. Samir Foch has managed to find himself a little bit of extra pace in the Ferrari. Maybe even enough to displace Luke Whitehead. Chris Warner up into third place with a fantastic lap then. Samir Foch rounding the final corner. He should displace the top man. And he does. Displaces him with 800ths to spare. I think Luke Whitehead will have an answer for that though. He's 2 tenths up on his time. Coming across the line then. He does displace Foch then. Down a place he goes. Nicodem in third, with Abe Santema in fourth place. Chris Warner pushed down to fifth then after that round of qualifying laps then. Aidan Walsingham coming across the line. He'll get himself up into the top 4, and he does. There goes the number 7. 4 tenths behind his teammate. And where is Jardier then? He is in P16. He's not improving actually at the moment. Whereabouts is he on track? Coming through the first sector. Okay, opening up a lap. We'll stay on board then with Jardier as he tries desperately to get himself inside that top 10. So at the moment we have quite a few Lamborghinis up there. A good mix of McLarens also at the top end of the pack. 8 minutes to go then, and it is quite spread. More understeer on that car by the looks of things. Unsettled in the low speed corners. He is all, of course, following the SDL boys ahead of him in that McLaren. I think it's Steve, the number 15. He's currently in, sorry, the number 15 in P15, just pushed down to 16. Fast right-handers, down 2 gears, tucking it in nicely. See if we get any unsettled car on the low speed again. Much better. Whereabouts is he then at the moment? 5 tenths up. That should do him well inside the top 10. I don't think that's going to be threatening the top boys. See what that does then. Jardier up into P2. It was enough to threaten. Well, there you go. Luke Whitehead then under threat and in the pit at the moment. Samir Foch about to I think finish his lap. He is 10th up currently, and he is a threat actually to Luke Whitehead. See what the 888 Ferrari can do. It's always good to see Samir in a red Ferrari. And the older Ferrari as well. It's his favourite car, it must seem. Feral Kid Racing for Samir Foch. A mainstay in AOR Tier 1. One of the old guard. A regular feature in the AOR Endurance Series as well. Samir is always one who's up there. And this season, actually, he's done good. That car's obviously coming off a good, favourable BOP advantage. Not to say that Samir's not good. He is. As he rounds through the final corner. 2 tenths in hand then. He will displace the top boys. The track is coming to these guys, I think, every lap. And he will go, just shy. Still front row. P2 then for Samir. He'll have to go another lap or so if he wants a chance to beat the guys up towards the pointy end. Chris Warner then. See what he can do. I think he's coming through the final sector. No, he's not. He's going through the first sector. That was out of turn 10. Luke has also opened up his probably second to last chance at trying to claim and hold on to that top spot. Look who's menacing behind, trying to steal all of those little exploits on the braking zones. That is the number 39 of Jardier. You can see the colours there. Looking to try and make a little bit of a move on Luke Whitehead. He does move. Try and slow the car, heat the tyres, struggling maybe. No movement then from the rock-solid Ripper himself. Aggressive on the curbs. Much tighter lines for Luke Whitehead than Jardier following. Jardier not on a lap at the moment, neither is Luke. They're both warm-ups. Let's go on board with Jardier then, as we follow Luke Whitehead on these qualifying laps. I'll let you guys enjoy this. I'll shut up and you can learn the lines of the pros. Look how much entry curb they take. Absolutely fantastic use. Got to remember, that's going to be hot topic this afternoon. Drive-throughs are plenty. We'll have to keep an eye on how many of those naughties that these guys get. There's going to be, I'm going to say, at least 3 tonight. Misano, 90 minutes. Many drive-throughs to be had. Looks like Jardier has called it a day on that. Don't think he's going to improve. Yeah, he's pulled out of the way. Got to interrupt that lovely qualifying from behind, seeing as Jardier pulled out. We'll stay with Luke Whitehead. He's a 10th up on his time. Don't think anyone inside the top 10 is threatening at the moment. Samir Foch is on a lap, but he's only just opened it up with 25 seconds in, so he's just coming through the first sector. Luke Whitehead is on the bubble of improvement. Siata is GOAT. He is in P4, so he has got a time in, which is good. Currently P4 in Championship as well, I think. P4's all round. First of the losers, some would say. Luke Whitehead across the line. Does improve on his time, but it's nothing fantastic. I'm sure he'll go for a typical Luke Whitehead 1-2 lap. One push lap's not good enough, he'll go for another. Seems to be the way forward for this man. Who have we got out there at the moment? Podin's up on his time. And if ever a livery was for this track, it would be this one. At the moment, we've got no one out who is improving significantly. 3 minutes to go. Podins is a 10th up on his time, but not really going to threaten for anyone inside the top 4, possibly. We'll have to see. He might be able to get himself inside the top 3, but he's going to have to get a little bit more time under his belt. He's over 1/10 up, and that will just about put him third at the best. But he has found a whole host of time through that section. Found 3/10 just then, but I'm sure that'll probably run away. Got 2/10 to hand. That should put him, hopefully, second place with Samir. He's dropped down to 1.5, so this is probably going to be third place for Podins. And it is. Across the line. Good improvement there for the McLaren man. Celtic Bromance doing the business. 2 minutes to go. What is Samir able to do? He's in the second and a half sector, I think. Yes, he is. Coming into the third. Into turn 11 he'll go. See if Samir's got anything up his sleeve to improve. Joshua Allen is a man that we've not seen anywhere near the top end of this grid so far. He's in P3 and he's improving. Luke Whitehead's found a couple of tenths too. It's not over yet, but we're almost towards the final bell. Samir is bouncing around on a 10th at this part of the track. Let's see what he can do, if he can get any improvements through the final corner. He's all but maxed that car and the capabilities of him in it, coming across the line. Any improvements for him? Just a small one. A couple of thousandths off his time. Maybe a few hundreds, who knows. Luke Whitehead on the march to improve as well. Don't want to pay too much attention because he's already 2 tenths clear of the rest of the pack.
I'd be a little bit late, but I am finally here. Hey! Apologies.
Always better when you got 2. Always better when you got 2. Welcome, Tim. Thank you very much for joining us. As Chris Warner goes up to 4th place there. Luke Whitehead still got a 10th in hand. You all good?
Yes, all good. Yeah, running a little bit late, but I managed to make it in time. That is the joy of Mondays. I know that you're in charge of the stream, so the show will always go on, yes. Even if I am furiously scrambling to get myself home, eat some food, and then put my child to bed.
No problem at all. Don't you worry about it. Welcome.
Sorry, just going to quickly say how different the top 10 is looking this evening. There's some new names that have worked their way in. And Samir Foch, obviously, you know, a bit of an old guard when it comes here to ACC and Tier 1, obviously showing that he can get himself up there. Oh, just been dethroned by Aidan Walshingham, though. But some of the older guys have really sort of pulled their way back into the top 10 again, haven't they?
They have. On board with Conrad Siata, one of those men dethroning the old guard. Conrad in 5th place. Florian Durkamp, in 4th place. Not all Hatchie in 7th. I think we just got Skylar Lovering coming out of nowhere into 3rd place. There's plenty of time to be had here. Aidan Walsingham has got himself a 10th in hand. We're on board with Conrad Siata at the moment going through the final sector. Just gone through turn 11, coming into 12 and 13. Aidan Walsingham's found himself 2 tenths. This is spicy towards the end of this session. Whereabouts is he on track? Let's see. I'm not too sure how much time he's got. Oh no, he's got some time. I think he's only coming through turn 10. So we could see some changes here. Where's Siata? Through the final corner for Siata. Sorry, Tim. Coming across the line. He should improve here. I'm not sure if it'll be a position. Let's see. Conrad up to 6th place. It was a good couple of positions then. No more from Gert Fischer in 2nd place. It's changing all the time. Where did he come from? Chris Warner in 3rd. Walsingham all the way back in 4th, but going through the 3rd sector, Tim.
Just suddenly out of nowhere, isn't it? These amazing times are starting to pour in, even all the way down towards the bottom, sort of in the 30s. Rashinov and Patak as well. They are both improving on their laps. Who else have we got out of this putting in good times? Santima also 2 tenths up at the moment. Obviously, the main one we're going to keep a close eye on now is Aidan Walshingham, although I think he's just gone. Oh no, there we go, up into 2nd place. Yeah,
good stuff. Came across the line, got in ahead of Gert Fischer. On board with Samir Foch, who's unfortunately dropped all the way down to 8th place after a stunning qualifying. Can he find any more time? Like I was saying on the stream before you joined, I think he's maxed out that Ferrari now. I don't think he's going to get any more than the 133 he's got. Across the line, 133.72. Small improvement up to 7th place for Samir. 7th place for Samir Foch. Wow, what a qualifying session. Gert Fischer out of nowhere. Skylar Loverink also out of nowhere. But Luke and Aidan Walsingham doing the business today. Jardier then, who is 3rd place, I think, in the championship at the moment. No, he's 2nd. All the way down in P16. How the guard changes from track to track. No Aston Martins inside the top 15.
Obviously not an Aston Martin friendly circuit. I did just notice, it's just probably disappeared from the screen, that the top 35 cars, so all but 2 cars on the grid, are within a second of each other in qualifying. That is bonkers close. That is insanely close. We always get close racing here, but that might take the biscuit. 35 cars within a second of each other. Yes, they've got an hour and a half here this evening. It is an extended race, so a bit more fuel strategy will come into it, so things might change. But that's just insane. You know, realistically, you're thinking that they're only going to be trading a few tenths every lap, and it's a long old track, very easy to go off circuit. There's actually a couple of corners where if you really mess it up, you can get almost pretty much instantly disqualified. We've definitely seen it in Tier 2. Not sure it's ever happened in Tier 1 before, but yeah, there is a bit of a moment just before the big back straight. So that would be corner 9 and 10, kind of a weird double apex. I've seen cars over rotate at turn 8 and end up having a bit of a squirrely moment. And if you cut across too much of turn 9/10, you just immediately get disqualified.
Crazy.
So who knows? I've seen it before. Obviously, it wouldn't happen in real life, but the game thinks you're just trying to cut the corner and goes, no, and gets rid of you immediately and puts you in the pit. So, yes.
Well, if you lose the car or come to blows going down between 8 and 9, then yeah, it could easily happen on the inside. Oh, interesting. Well, I've not seen it, but I have seen plenty of drive-throughs through Misano, so we'll see how many. I predicted about 3 tonight. I think we'll probably get that many. Misano's literally the drive-through creator, so we'll see what happens with those, what are they called? When you get the track limit notifications. They got, what, 3 before it's the crime. So we'll see if any of these guys can get it. And hey, look, if the likes of Aidan Walsingham, Luke Whitehead get a drive-through and other people don't, it will massively change this race. So yeah, Veloci guys right at the very pointy end of this grid. Talking of the grid, let's go through it then. So we have Luke Whitehead and Aidan Walsingham on the front row, P1 and P2. Behind them then, Gert Fischer and Chris Warner in P3, P4, second row of the grid. Skylar Loverink, well, joined by Conrad Ciata on the third row of the grid. Samir Foch in 7th and 8th with Valentin Barry aside. Luis Fleischer and Florian Durkop in the 5th row of the grid, 9th and 10th for them. Noel Hatchie and Joshua Allen at 11th and 12th, and 6th row on the grid for those guys. 7th row will be Christos Podens and Abe Sentema. It's always hard to say Abe Sentema, I don't know why, but P13 and 14 for those guys. Nico and Jardier will be back there on row 8 of the grid on 15 and 16 for them. 17 and 18th place will be Josh Waring and Waring, as we know. Remy Papin, 17th and 18th for them. 9th row on the grid. Alex Torregrosa and Alejandro Perez will be on the 10th row, all the way back there, and 19th and 20th. We're going to Helicam so you can see them, guys. Luciano and Steve will be back there in the 11th row in 21st and 22nd place. Mattia De Campo and Luca Weidelich will be next to them. Luca up for the commentator's best livery award. Alejandro and Lois Regina will be back there in P25 and 26th position, and then we've got Walter Billen and Jenel van Thalen in P27 and 28. 15th row then will be Venci Rachov and Arthur Patat in P29 and 30. Junko Turman, 31 and 32 for them. Then we've got Mikolav Nowicki in P34 with Barnabas Faiskas in 34 and 33 and 34. 35 and 36th place will be Joytech and Kevin Niles. And right at the very back, last but not least, will be Jonas Kraft in the Aston Martin. And what a fine looking car it is. Right, let's go to the top then and see these guys pull away as Aidan Walsingham and Luke Whitehead do exactly that. Well, it is Lamborghini versus Lamborghini at the beginning. If Gert Fischer managed to wheedle his way past one of these Lamborghinis at the very beginning here, we could be on for a very different race here, Tim.
Yeah, it's really going to be interesting to see how the BMW compares to these two Lamborghinis. Obviously, Whitehead is a little bit of a kind of an enigma, isn't he? I mean, even though he is in the Lamborghini, I think whatever car he's in, realistically, he's going to end up putting it at the pointy end of the field. But it is going to be interesting to see how the cars sort of try. Basically, that BMW is the only front engine car. Well, looking at it, it's only him and one other BMW inside the top 10 cars. So mid-engine cars really seem to have taken away most of it. There is a Porsche snuck its way in as well, Ciata in 6th. But it's going to be interesting to see how that car maintains its pace over this hour-and-a-half race.
Yeah, I think so. I mean, just going down the back straights, they're going to be nipping at the heels of those Lamborghinis. Obviously, they should be quite good through the corners. Obviously, there's quite a few here, isn't there? What have we got? 16. So they should be off and away, but it's the runs that are going to slightly concern me. Going down P7, it's not really a corner, sorry, turn 7, and then down towards turn 11. If that BMW is close to them, it could cause a few problems. And he's got to get on it quick, eh? You can't really rest on your laurels, knowing that you've got the two W's, as Chat just pointed out, two Brits, both with the surname beginning with W, running away at the beginning of this race, because they're going to protect each other. They're part of the same team. You never know. Could be a few team orders coming in. And it's not the last time we've seen team orders come into a championship, Tim.
No, it's seen it before, and it won't be the last time if it does happen again this evening. I am, as you said, I am sure. Something I am a little bit interested about with these Lamborghinis is people were saying that, obviously, Whitehead usually, like he says, runs pretty much zero traction control anyway. But obviously, there's a lot of drivers out there, for this car specifically, running no traction control. I think turns 11, 12, and possibly 13 could really throw a spanner in the works. As you're getting a little bit more sort of, you've got some degradation towards the end of the race. either not just in your car, also in your body as well. You're going to be physically tired. Maybe you're just not quite as sharp as you were at the beginning. That's when I think we could start to see some mistakes happen. It's very, very hard to sort of catch these mid-engine cars once they've let go, and they don't tend to slide, they just tend to spin, and that is you done for. So be interesting to see how people get on with no traction control here this evening.
It will be. And to be fair, this Lamborghini is probably one of the nicest looking cars, I think, on the GT grid. It's never really appealed to me very much, but it seems to be a very nice car to drive. Watching Luke Whitehead wrestle it through his qualifying was almost a work of art, as these guys then run towards the line for 90 minutes of racing. There's a little bit of a hesitation from Luke there as he puts the brakes on just before they go green. Will it give an opportunity to Walsingham around the outside of turn 1? He's going to have the line into turn 2. Aidan Walsingham almost tapping his teammate, and it's happened, Tim. It's happened already. There's been a tap then also from Gert Fischer. Luke Whitehead's round, and there's chaos going on behind him. What more could have Luke done? I thought it could have come to blows with the teammates, and it has already, Tim. What crazy start to this race.
I mean, it was such a gentle tap, barely anything at all. It was just sort of barely a racing incident, to be fair, and just super unlucky teammates getting together and rotating each other. Realistically, I think maybe actually you could almost put that on the fault slightly of Whitehead. Maybe not leaving quite enough room for his teammate there. He knew he was up the inside, but Chris Warner immediately scoots a whole bunch of positions and loses his main rivals around, and Ciata with a massive improvement up into second place from 6th.
It was a little bit of a wobble then into turn 10 for Chris Warner. He almost loses the car in the middle of the corner. It definitely went wide. He's got Conrad Ciata then for company. So after that then, Aidan Walsingham down to 5th. I think we had, was it Durkop dropping down or going up? No, Gert Fischer dropping down to P13. Durkop making up places to P4. Yeah, all changes inside the top 10. And yeah, unfortunately, we've got Luke Whitehead down in P36. I'm sure he will be saying some choice words. Anyone watching and wants to see how he reacts to come through this field, you can find Luke Whitehead on Twitch streaming as I speak right now. But look who's in 3rd place. Ever the optimist. He reminds me of the Fernando Alonso of AOR. We've got Valentin Barrier in the Lamborghini threatening Ciata and Chris Warner already. And he's going to be a real problem going into 90 minutes of this race.
Walsingham already starting to make moves now. Just having a look here up the inside of Loverink, gets the move done, and he's pushed on through. Oh no, the time board's having a bit of a wobble. That is not him, is it? That is Aidan Walsingham was miles in front. Don't worry, I'm losing my mind. I was looking at the wrong car. I was actually looking at Joshua Allen, and that little squabble going on inside just a 5th and 6th place. But it all got a little bit confusing there for a minute with everyone all over the place.
It's all right. It happens at the beginning of this race. The old pit timing screens do go a little bit crazy.
There's been a big incident at the back of the field. That was 24th place of Patat. The cars are 4 wide down towards turn 11. Oh goodness gracious! That was a little bit scruffy from those all then.
We have hopped back to Arthur Patat on the old timing screen to see what went on then. Going down towards, I think this looks like turn 8. Oh my god, there's so many cars at the back end of this field. Patat then closing the door. Oh, it looks like it happened behind him. Not too sure who that was. Oh my god, chaos as everyone comes through. It was the Ferrari, it was Patat, sorry, yeah, losing the rear of his car and causing absolute chaos. He's now in P28. The back of AOR Tier 1 is a very risky place to be. Valentin Barrier still in 3rd, chasing Ciata for 2nd place. Warner, a little bit of a breather.
Yeah, but I mean, it's just going to keep going. This top 5 has really closed up again. Walsingham was already caught up at the back of them after that turn 1 incident with his teammate. So Warner closely chased by Ciata, followed by Barrier, followed by Durakop, followed by Walsingham. All of those absolutely intimidating names to see in the rearview mirror, and I am sure Warner is trying to keep as much of his eyes going forward. He just put in the fastest lap of the race on that previous one as well. I'm sure he's going to be trying to concentrate, but Ciata already showing the nose up the inside. Just trying to unsettle Warner. It's going to be a difficult task to do, but realistically, can Warner hold off this absolute top flight behind him?
That's going to be the test, isn't it? What these guys can do to hold off the cars behind them. You see that gaggle of cars being fronted by Samir Foch there in P7. Jardier out of order. This is up to P11. From P16 to P11, only after a couple of laps, is fantastic. We've got the chat saying, another Brit, starting with W, is now in the lead. It's quite right. It's Chris Warner in the lead. Chased so closely by Conrad Ciata, Valentin Barrier and Florian Durkop. And look who's menacing in the back there, Aidan Walsingham. He's going to get slapped with something, you just think, isn't he? But yeah, Apex1 team currently leading this 90-minute race, and it looks like it's going to be 90 minutes of absolute mayhem inside the top 3.
Speaking of mayhem, 10 minutes, it's saying there could be some light rain. So just,
oh my goodness.
If 90 minutes of this race wasn't going to be, enough to really change the tyre strategies, now we've also thrown in the fact that it's going to rain as well. So it might only be a quick splash. It looks like it's not too much. Probably everyone's going to try and stay out on dries, I would presume.
Yes.
But who knows? See, the track, I've just noticed as well, is still only in fast condition. It hasn't actually gone up to optimum yet. So by the time it gets up to optimum, when everyone's really able to put in some fantastic lap times, it's immediately going to get doused in water and go back the other way again.
Yes, exactly that. And you've got to remember, this is one of those old tracks that the guard know very well. They know all the little nuances, and they know where to exploit the cars. So we should see a real good showing from everyone throughout the pack. As you can probably see within the times, no one's really started to pull away. Everyone stayed in a long sausage-like line as Conrad Ciata tries to make the most of a slight mistake from Chris Warner going into turn 11. It seems to be his kryptonite. Conrad Ciata unfortunately having to fold back into P2 as he has a look into turn 11, sorry. No way round. That's going to ease up Valentin Barrier and Durkop. He goes defensive then into turn 13. No way through for Ciata, and he wants to make no way through for Valentin Barrier behind as he tries desperately to open up his points tally and improve his fourth place in this season. Chris Warner just looking for some good points and a win possibly on the cards for Apex1. What a crazy start, Tim. I still can't get over this.
If anyone had told me, if you'd said to me, oh yeah, the teammates will get together in turn 1, I'd say no, they won't. I just wouldn't have believed you. But here we are witnessing it. I mean, the real winners out of this really has been Warner, Ciata, and Barrier, especially Ciata and Barrier. They've gained a fair few positions, really jumped their way up the order, and I imagine Walsingham is sort of really kicking himself. I would imagine that they're not as teammates. They probably won't push for a penalty because realistically, even if they penalise Walsingham, it's not really going to help Luke any sense. The best thing that Luke can do is just push forward now and try and gain some positions. So I doubt they will have, the team is going to push for a penalty. But it could also be that race control just say, well, no, it doesn't matter if you're on the same team. You have still, messed up another driver. You need to pay the consequences. So it could be a double loss for them depending on it. I am keeping a very close eye on the race control to see if anything comes through. I must say, the BOP working quite well at the moment for the Porsche. There was times of old when the Porsche would have been standing still. Oh, little look up the inside here from Valentin Barrier. Has to go really deep onto the curbs, unsettles the car, but just about holds on. Can he get a switch back here? No, he can't. Oh, yes, maybe he can into the final turn. Does look to the inside. Ciata goes slightly defensive. Again, looks to the inside, loads and loads of curb. And this is where Durkop may be able to take advantage, getting the traction over Barrier, and he is going to have the inside down into turn 1.
Conrad looking to hold on, outside line. He knows he can get it on the switch, but he's not going to. And there's the contact again with Durkop, and it's exactly a carbon copy of what happened earlier on. Durkop joins then, Valentin Barrier joins afterwards, hopefully not to get a penalty. He's crossing every single finger in toe, but unfortunately it's unsettled that top 3 again, and we're going to see more moves then going up at the top as Chris Warner's giving himself some breathing space. And look at this, we've got Skylar Loverink in P3 in Tier 1. Following him is Samir Foch. The old guard are back at the top again. Joshua Allian looking for the outside, and all the while Jardier is in P8 and hunting his way back up the grid. Just a little quick touch on what's happening behind with the man who's not done too well this afternoon. Luke Whitehead has gone down from mid-30s to P26. He's scything through this grid. I think we're on for a top 10 finish from Luke Whitehead, despite what happened at the beginning there.
It's a long enough race where people can make that kind of recovery. Walsingham and Barrier now going head-to-head. I did notice that as Walshingham was trying to avoid Duracorp during that turn 1 crash, or turn 2 crash, sorry, he did also get tagged ever so slightly, so that car taking on another load of damage, not just from the turn 1 lap 1 incident, but from that incident as well. So that car now is going to be carrying some battle scars. It was one of those awkward ones there. Duracorp didn't really leave any room at the apex, but to be fair, Valentine Barrier did go incredibly deep into turn 1 and wasn't really on the racing line. I think we might see some investigation on that one a little bit later in the race, but for now, they have managed to recover and keep themselves going inside the top 50.
Yeah, I mean, obviously Valentine Barrier went very late into turn 1 and was off the track at one point before he joined at the apex, so I think it's going to be very hard for Conrad to hold on to that. But we've got live stewarding. I know obviously you touched on what will happen with the man we're on board with at the moment, Aidan Walsingham and his teammate down outside the top 20. You know, they have no choice in what happens. You know, the Velocity boys, unfortunately, it's live stewarding. They have no real callback on it until after the race. They can submit things, but obviously they won't. So yeah, I don't think they've really got much to hold on to, as Jardier looks like he got quite friendly there with Gert Fischer up ahead of these boys, as Valentine Barrier starting to pull away, and he does get past Gert Fischer, and Gert Fischer gets tagged again. That might have been Barrier that saw a little bit of that action. Gert Fischer unfortunately losing a few places, so Valentine, unfortunately, as the red mist descends, the penalties get their stewards get their notebooks out, and unfortunately the penalties will come a-flowing. But yeah, Valentine Barrier getting himself on the wrong end of everyone's evening, it looks like, tonight.
Yeah, sort of whether or not it be his fault or not, he does seem to just kind of be in the wrong place, wrong time a lot of the time this evening. Still just inside the top 10. He's holding on to that last spot there. But yeah, he's got some seriously fast boys right behind him. Walshingham, Gert Fischer and Duracorp as well. All of those guys more than capable of making it into the top 5. And I think that rain is getting pretty close now. The timing board only shows us every 10 minutes and then sort of then half an hour into the future. And you know what the weather's like. It can always change on a dime, but it is starting to look maybe slightly darker over track. A bit hard to tell sometimes from the broadcast cameras, but I imagine everybody in those cockpits will be sweating profusely, wondering where this rain is going to come and for how long it is going to be staying around.
Yeah, I think you're right. It will definitely be ticking in pretty soon. We've got yellow flags for some.
Oh, car number 23.
Okay.
Go back and see if I can jump on that one.
That would be Kevin Niles. No, sorry, excuse me. Alejandro, that is.
Ablaze.
Yeah. Ablaze, Alejandro. As it looked like Nico and Luis Fleischer were going toe-to-toe in the first sector. Nico losing out, or actually not able to jump up, as we're on board at the moment with Jardier, the Yas Heat boy this evening.
Penalties in. The penalty is in for turn 1, lap 1 and 2. It's a big one. Oh. So this is involving cars number 7, 55 and 78.
That's
on
Luke
lap
Whitehead.
1.
Yeah.
20-second penalty for car number 7 and 3 licence points.
Who's car number 7? That's Aidan Walsingham got that penalty then for touching his teammate.
Yeah, Aidan Walsingham gets it, responsible for spinning the car, and that is turn 2 on lap 1. No further
licence points.
Yeah, they are very, very strict when it comes to lap 1, especially turn 1 and 2 incidents. It's when you really need to be on your best behaviour. I know it's racing, but realistically, if you ruin someone's race right at the very beginning, regardless if it's your teammate or not, but God, 3 licence points, that's a big old slap on the wrist.
He's only got to get 2 more and he misses a qualifying session. That is absolutely monumental. Well, Aidan might as well park the car and give up. I mean, look, I'm all for fair penalties, but turn 1, lap 1 should be looked at with leniency, not necessarily a strict hand. But look, we're coming off the bounce of last race where it was very strict as well. So it's AOR turning a new leaf, it seems.
I know they did have a little bit of a rethink of some of the sort of the rules and regulations of the GT3 series this time round. So, there's some more coming in as well. Sorry. Car number 46, 60 and 217, lap 1. Doesn't say what turn it was on. Another one here. So car number 217 of Toro Grosso is responsible for hitting and spinning car number 46 of Josh Waring, and that was turn 2, lap 1. And that is another 20-second penalty and 3 licence points.
Well, at least it's consistent, eh?
Yes, that is the thing. It's harsh, but it is consistent harshness. But that is 2 drivers, and with less than 15 minutes of this race done, they are already 20 seconds penalties, and there is a long, long way to go, and a lot more. There's a lot more coming.
Oh, jeez. Jack, we're already on it. We're already on. I was going to say, I think I saw the rain actually click into the server as Conrad Siata and Warner went across the line. It just snapped into a different kind of lighting mode, and boom, the heavens have opened. Well, there you go. Let's go on board then with Conrad Siata. Rear-wheel drive car, known for being unsettled on the rear end, especially in mixed conditions, especially with a high fuel load. Well, not really. It's normally a low fuel load. But anyway, it's going to be tough for these boys. They get to change tyres and muck around with their fuel, but they're going to have to push through this, aren't they? They're going to have to go on through because it's only here for 10 minutes. The track is already greasy, Tim. Someone's got the bacon out and they're spreading it like wildfire as he looks for a move up the inside, and it's happened in turn 10 where we thought it could have happened, and Conrad Siata, the 992 car, is in the lead for the first time in AOR, and he does it on merit from keeping his nose clear. The P4 man in the championship has managed to get himself up into the top spot. How long can he hold on for it whilst it rains here in Misano? What a change. What a change of the top spots. Oh, there's touch!
There's already a touch!
And he holds on to it. Conrad Siata, he's like Spider-Man.
To Warner's credit there, I think that was just a case of changing weather, didn't quite get his braking zone right, but he did continue to brake after the contact and definitely did not try and take away the position. So, I mean, I think that'll probably come down as a racing incident, I would imagine, but I imagine Loverink is licking his lips in excitement watching these two squabble and thinking, go on, just bump each other off, let me have pole position for a minute. He's already having a little look to the inside on Warner, knowing now that he's not as comfortable with the car as he was before. Loverink looks very confident. Oh, who's that? Is that Steve, who's just come into the pits?
Oh, wow. It is, yeah. I mean, SDL making a move.
Surely not coming in for wets. I mean, technically
yes,
it could be up to 20 minutes.
Look, 20 minutes.
It could be 20 minutes of rain. That's a long time to try and go on slicks, especially if it then continues on. It is cloudy in 30 minutes. That can change. So who knows? It might be in for a bit of a stint of rain. Oh, just stop raining.
No.
Oh, no, it's back again. It was just on my screen. My camera decided that it didn't want to show the rain for a moment. But track already dropped to greasy. And already, people, look at now, everyone is already down. Over 2 seconds a lap, people have lost pace. Another incident coming in now. Who is this one? So this is between cars number 14 and 69 on lap 2. And that is just coming in as no further incident, and they call that a racing incident, so no further action on that one.
What was that for?
It just says car number 14 and 69 on lap 2, and it just says racing incident, no further action. So not sure what that one was. Cars number 69 and 14. I'll have a little rummage and have a look and see what they are. 14 was Santima and 69 is Podens, and they're still pretty much neck and neck. They're right next to each other still, so obviously just a little bump.
No harm, no foul then for these guys. I mean, this is where they really test their mettle now. It's actually changed. 10 minutes time, it won't be raining, so I think it's all good to stay out, boys. Don't do anything drastic. Hold on to your knickers, because I think you're all good. Jardier then, still in P8. Conrad Siata holding on to the top spot with Chris Warner just behind. Loverink still in 3rd. Samir Foch, the last of the old guard, is in 4th place. Joshua Allen in 5th. Fleischer, Nico, Jardier, Remy Papin and Valentin Barrier, which I'm sure has probably got a few penalties coming his way. After that, Valentin Barrier, isn't it? Yes, it is. No penalties at the moment, though, from 72, but I think we might have some later on, as I think that might be Fischer trying to get up the inside. Both BMWs are next to each other, but Fischer, the number 78, probably, as you say, with a few scars.
Just noticed that car number 34 was rotated on the pit straight, so
that's embarrassing.
I'm just gonna have a little look. I don't know whether it was he was bumped or what happened there. I'm keeping a little eye on it.
Void checked over it, unfortunately.
Oh, I did jump back. That was all his own doing, I'm afraid. A little bit too much outside curb on the exit. Over-rotated the car, and as I said, a lot of the time with these mid-engine cars, they don't tend to slide, they just spin round and face the wrong direction very quickly.
That's a real shame. Looks like Jardier is trying to get a move past Nico. Remy Papin is in this little fray. It looks like it's got a lot wetter, Tim. I know obviously it's still damp, but there's a lot of water, and you've got to remember, these boys are on dries. They have not come in to change. Oh, we see the first incident, Alan losing the car in turn 12. And he was off onto the gravel. That's upper position then for Nico and Jardier. I don't know where he managed to join there. Alan was in P5, and he's going to drop down, unfortunately, to about P8 as a car comes in. That's the Ferrari of Fleischer. He's got a drive-through already. It's the first one, Tim. Notch on the board for drive-throughs.
Yeah, already beginnings of that. That's at least one. You've got a long way to go if you think it's only going to be 3 drive-throughs. There's only been just less than 20 minutes of this race. Another penalty coming in as well now, 5-second penalty, and that is for car 214 and a licence point as well. So that was Thielen for causing an avoidable collision with Rayner.
Okay, well, just a little news. Oh, slight tap between the 39 and the 997. The latter, I'm definitely getting the better. There's another tap then on the exit, and it looks like Jardier paying the price. And sneaky goes Joshua Allen. He wants his positions back, thank you very much. He's going to go round the outside of turn 9, or turn 8 as it is, to try and get that position back, but he's not going to. Up the inside goes Jardier. And what a battle this is turning into. There's more tapping going on down towards 10.
It's such an awkward corner to get your braking right. There's a few lines you can take through there, but I think Warner is going to come out side by side. I'd be very, very surprised, though, if anything can... Oh, no! They've got together and they've rotated! I honestly thought they were going to keep it clean, but there was a little bit too much touching. I think that... don't know if that was net code or just a little bit of elbows out from those two. But, oh, dearie me, Joshua Allen definitely comes away better out of that battle than old Jards did then.
I think we're going to hop back to Jards there because we didn't actually see what happened. All right, we're going through 10 then. And it's Allen on the outside. Little tap from Allen. Oh, yes! No, they just come together down the straight. They got notched together, you know, when the cars almost stick. Jardier then, unfortunately, losing a host of positions. Rejoined, and I think he came together after that with the Porsche. The lovely livery 29, he does, and off onto the exit curb. But he's back, he's on, and he's behind Lois at the moment. As Lois goes sideways through turn 1. And he's round.
I was just about to say the...
Lois is round.
Oh, God, yeah.
And here comes Luke Whitehead into P16.
I saw the yellow flag. Oh, Whitehead already up into P16. That is insane. That is already a massive amount of positions gained. Mainly through just trying to keep his nose clean and keep it going, really. I was just going to say, I thought that at that moment that Jards was just going to absolutely pull away and fly down the back straight, but was never given the opportunity. That little bit of rubbing, and obviously foot absolutely planted to the floor, and there was just no hope. Oh, kind of a 7. I just saw a yellow flag pop up, and it has returned to the pits.
It's Aidan Walsingham. That's a shame.
What has happened there? I will jump back and see if I can spot what happened. Although I think actually it's completely left the server.
I think that's
immediately
a DC.
gone. So
yeah, it's never good.
Not sure. Yeah, always a shame, but it does happen. It's one of those things that people, often complain about in sim racing. They're sort of, saying about, oh, if somebody gets DC'd, then they should be able to sort of rejoin. But I like to think it is the same as a mechanical failure or like an engine failure in real life racing. Sometimes.
Sorry to interrupt you, Tim. SDL car getting involved with Luke Whitehead. Didn't see who it was. That's a real shame. Luke Whitehead got himself all the way up into P14 and he's spun. I think, I can't see who it was. It might be Podens. I thought, no, it'll be, oh God, I'm not sure. It was an SDL liveried car and I don't know which one. See if I can find it for you. No, I can't. I'm really sorry. But Aidan Walsingham lost position, and I think he actually... Not Aidan Walsingham, sorry. I'm getting confused. Luke Whitehead, losing position. I can't find out who it is. Is it Lois? It is Lois.
83.
Yes.
Yeah, Lois Rayner, yeah.
Unfortunately, causing a slight issue. I mean, look, they're wet tyres, you've got to remember. And a little bit needs to be kind of taken away from the damage caused by these incidents that's going on right now. It's got to be looked at with a slight, damp cloth, I think.
Yeah, that's the thing. They are the slightest of touches, but obviously everybody is probably running predominantly dry setups. The cars are very twitchy. The smallest touch can make a very, very big difference. So I think, like you're saying, everyone's going to be treated the same at least. It's that thing of, yes, you have to be a little bit lenient, but also have to sort of, still be mildly strict. Maybe just not cracking the whip as hard, just a light tap. Is maybe what we want to see.
Definitely not an Aidan Walsingham 3 penalty points in 20 seconds style jobby on these ones, I think. There has been a change towards the top. I'm not sure how it happened, and we've missed it because we're too busy looking at what's happening in the fantastic action in the middle pack. It looks like Loverink and Warner have swapped, and Samir Foch is coming incredibly close to overtaking number 11, who was leading the race going into turn 2 at the beginning of this race. So unfortunately for Warner, he's gone down a little bit, and Samir Foch is looking to make some moves. But yeah, I mean, the rain's still coming down here, Tim.
Yeah, the track is still only damp, but it is continuing to rain. It's not, well, it should be over sort of in the next sort of 5 to 10 minutes, I would presume. Probably by the hour, the rain would have stopped, but that doesn't mean the track is going to be dry. It still could very much stay damp for quite a long time. It's not that hot, only 24 degrees on the track. Although, you know, you sort of think, 24 degrees, it sounds lovely and warm, but it's not that warm when you're trying to clear rain and everything. And there is no wind either. It's only 1 kilometre of wind at the moment, so there's not much sort of doing to get rid of this rain. So it wouldn't surprise me if we maybe see that 10 minutes turn back into rain as the clouds just aren't able to shift away.
You never know. I'm on board at the moment with Luke Whitehead. Well, I say on board, I'm over the top of, because he is going for a move on Jardier. It looks like Jard's having a real bad exit of turn 6, and Luke Whitehead on the outside into 8 and doesn't get it done, unfortunately.
All big penalties coming in again here. So this is a lap 2 incident involving car number 23, 24, 49, 46, 81 and 183.
That's a lot going in. I think I got that was RageF, Terminen, blah 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 blah. I didn't see the rest. And is it Van Thielen, the 214? He's got himself 5 seconds as well.
Oh yeah, I think that was earlier on. That was the that was between Thielen and who else was that? Oh, I can't even see which car. And Rayner earlier on. Okay. This is an incident from lap 2. So this is a whopping 20-second penalty and 2 licence points, and that is for Avilés.
23.
Moderate avoidable.
Yeah.
Moderate avoidable collision for hitting and spinning car number 49, and obviously the rest of them were just innocent bystanders on that one.
Yeah, unfortunately. Oh, that I know that was for the spin, and then I think we saw. I think it might have been Patet going crazy. I think that might have been that one. You know, we saw Patet off and in the sidelines, and lots of cars were collected. We are still with Luke Whitehead and Jards, because obviously this is a fight involving the top 2 drivers currently in the championship. So, I mean, yeah, we might as well stay with them. Luke Whitehead trying desperately to work moves on the back of the 39. It's a lovely car to look at the rear of. Jards, I think, struggling to try to get past Lois just up ahead in the SDL McLaren. So it's a good 3-way tussle right now. And Luke Whitehead's on the rear of that, trying to make moves happen himself. Lovely cutback there from Luke Whitehead. He's going to get a good run down into turns 9 and 10. And covering off the inside was Jards there. And I think Luke might go for the outside. It's covered. He's going to have to try something desperate down the back straight. And this is what we're talking about. As soon as that Lamborghini gets caught behind a car that has got the legs, it's very hard for these guys to run away with it. And the rain has stopped him.
Yes. So how long till it starts to get a bit drier, shall we say? Track is still damp at the moment. The track actual temp has now increased to 25 degrees, so slight increase in temperature. Oh, squabble going on in front of Jardier and Whitehead still, side by side, 2 McLarens.
Licking of lips must be going on between the 55 and the 39 then, looking for a place past. SDL then versus Sentema. Oh, look at this from Jards up the outside. That is very risky in these weather conditions, and he sneaks it round the inside of both of them. SDL getting displaced then. Loy's having to make the move kind of open up for him as Jards just moves straight through 2 positions in 2 corners, and that's why everyone's part of the Jardier community, because he's absolutely fantastic in mixed conditions. And then it looks like Luke Whitehead's trying to capitalise on this too, trying to make a move up the inside, but he's not able to. That was a fantastic bit of driving from Jards.
Yeah, the car looked really, really loose through Sector 3. He was almost sliding through the corners and just managing to carry a little bit more speed. And as we just saw there, absolutely stunning work there through Sector 1 as well to gain 2 positions at absolutely fantastic bit of racing. And to be fair, left Whitehead absolutely stranded.
He did. I just can't believe he put the threat on the outside, made them go defensive into turn 1, then cut back onto the inside of 2 and managed then to go round the outside of them through the main part of 2 and got the position done. And it was both positions. I know it took a few more corners to get Lois, but yeah, good stuff from Jards. Luke Whitehead then did manage to displace Sentema in all of that, and Lois didn't lose out as much as Abe did, unfortunately. But anyway, Luke Whitehead then on the march to get past for P number 13, and Jards is holding them back both.
Oh, another penalty just come in as well. This is a further 5-second penalty for car number 217 and another licence point. So that is Toro Grosso picking up another incident when he had a bump with Kristen Podens.
Oh, wow. Okay. Well, there you go.
So I think it's going to be 25 seconds worth of penalties, I think, in total for that car, number 217. Just having a little look back, because it's still showing. What do we have here? No, Toro Grosso. He's already got a whole bunch of penalties here. So, yeah, he is. It's going to be up to 25 seconds. There it is. Pops up to 25. That's absolutely killer. That's like a third of your lap. That is a third of a lap's worth of penalties. So not only has he got to pit to do that time, he's got to sit there in the pit while all his competitors do a third of a lap while he's just sat still waiting.
Yeah, it does suck, unfortunately for him. Never mind. We are on board at the moment with Loverink and Conrad Ciata. This is the fight for the lead at the moment. Conrad should start pulling away now that the conditions have started to improve slightly. Loverink was obviously doing well in those mixed conditions, closed a good few seconds to Ciata in that, part of the John Lacey esports team. I don't think we've seen anyone upside the John Lacey esports team inside the top 10 for a long time. I can't remember who the driver was, who was in John Lacey, who we had in Tier 1 for a little bit. Anyone who's been watching us for a while, do remind me, but we did have a few of them. But anyway, Loverink is doing the business, number 52, threatening Conrad Ciata for the lead of this race at the moment, with an hour to go, Tim. Only an hour. What could happen?
I know. I mean, nothing's happened in the first half an hour whatsoever. I have just noticed that after this, complete sort of all the Aston Martins were shunned towards the back of the grid at the beginning of this race. There are now 2 inside the top 10. So where have they come from? Nicodem and Remy Papin, both inside the top 10, running 5th and 6th. Those are Aston Martins, obviously absolutely blisteringly quick here. But it's just funny that they couldn't manage to put it together in qualifying.
Yeah, maybe they're just good in the racing condition, especially in those wet conditions too. It might have just came to them. Podins, though, has been, absolutely hounded by the BMWs behind. And unfortunately for him, Joshua Allen gets punted. Punterino'd indeed. I didn't see which one that was, if it was the 78 or the 63. Fisher or Durkop, I think it might have been Fisher, that absolutely whacked the back of Joshua Allen, who was sent spinning into the way of Jards, and actually has been dispatched by both Lois and Jards. And Luke Whitehead up the inside of turn 8. Small touch, but it's definitely Luke Whitehead's corner. Unfortunately, there was a move, a little bit of a touch, but I don't know if that was going to be all Luke's fault. I mean, it looked like Lois was off the line being attacked by Joshua Allen, and yeah, I mean, Luke just carried on his line. He didn't give any space, though. That's the only thing that could be a slight downside for Luke Whitehead there, but I think we're okay. Jards then still leading the way. Luke Whitehead only 2 positions from inside the top 10.
Yeah, mega run from him so far this race. Actually, it was car number 63 that caused that rotation just a moment or two ago. I had a little jump back, so that was Durkop.
Okay.
Yeah, just inside the top 10 now. But last position in the top 10. He's got Jards, will be chasing him down pretty quickly, I would presume. Little bit back, there's a big old gap, but we've seen how quick Jards is in that car this evening. And he will not be hanging around.
Now look how well the Apex 1 team are doing this afternoon. You've got 2 Apex 1's drivers inside the top 5, one of them on the bottom step of the podium. So doing very well for that team this afternoon. They're going to pick up a host of points as a team and probably put that team in a very good place in the championship if they can come good by the end. And that's Nico and Chris Warner Nico at the back of that Apex 1 train, just trying to get past Samir Foch. As the track goes to greasy then, these guys the pace is going to start sorting itself out now. We are going to see the advantages change around as Loverink is starting to reel in the back of Conrad Siata. I thought it would go the other way, Tim. I didn't think that Loverink would be able to pull it to Conrad, but it's obviously happening. Maybe that Porsche really not getting on in the different conditions.
I think also at this point in the race, it's been half an hour of the race. Depends on what fuel strategy Siata's going for. Obviously, this car can feel slightly unsettled and a bit light on the front end when you start burning fuel. The lighter the fuel tank gets, the less weight there is over those front wheels to sort of help it stick down. So depending on if he's going for sort of, like going to run it nearly to empty, and then when he goes in for tyres, get fuel as well. The change of the fuel rule change here for these mini endurance races does play a big factor in it, and it's just like you said, I am surprised that Siata is now being reeled in so quickly by Loverink. And looking at their lap times, there's about a tenth between them at the moment. Sort of that lap time of Loverink was a 1:42.95, whereas Siata's was a 1:43.87. So about a tenth between them. It's getting close. It is
indeed. Loverink reeling him in. Is that the sun coming out? I can see a shadow behind the cars. Yes, it is. Look, sun is coming out from beneath the clouds as we're seeing some changeable conditions definitely come to fruition. Luke Whitehead getting very close to Jards now as they come through, I think, the first sector. Loverink going wide into 8 then. I might just hop down to that battle with Luke and Jards, because I mean, what a battle. I'm not gonna lie, you don't normally see this, especially with Luke trailing Jardier, but here we go. We might as well stay with them because I think it's going to get spicy. Now the track conditions are starting to be more favourable towards the Lamborghini with the 0-0 TC run, as we know that they'll be doing this season. How long do you reckon it's going to take? How long can Jards hold on to it? I think it will be in the latter end of the lap where moves might come, when you've got the low downforce and you know that Lamborghini can definitely make some moves. Go through, looks like turn 11 very quickly. And Jards holding on to be fair. We'll go on board with Luke Whitehead, I think. And we'll see if he's definitely got him on the brakes. He should do. The Lamborghini should have it as, here we go then, another drive through. That'll be Abe Sentema, unfortunately. Getting themselves another drive-through, second of the session, and I'm sure it won't be the last. I'm 1 away from my prediction of 3. I think I probably should have gone for 4, Tim. I'm not sure 3 was good enough, as Luke Whitehead still not enough to threaten for another position. It's a real tough one. You got Jards, so you know he's incredibly quick, and he's in the middle part of the top 10, or at least trying to knock on the door, middle part of the pack. And you know you've got to get past. It should be a fight for the lead, but it's not. It's only a fight for 11th. He just wants to get further up this pack, and he's being stopped by the might of that Aston Martin.
To be fair, again, they are teammates, aren't they? They are both racing for Veloce Esports. So there is the possibility that team orders might come in. But I will say that Jardier doesn't really seem to be using as much of the track as Whitehead is. If you look at every single time, Whitehead, he's a little bit tighter on the apex, he's a little bit wider on the exits. He's just trying to gain as much outright pace as possible. And I think here at the moment, the fact that the Aston Martin does just seem to have that little bit more grunt is doing it absolute dividends, and it is managing to pull away, sort of like a whippet running away from a sausage dog.
I love your dog analogies. It never ceases to make me laugh. Whether it's on the back of a postman or a whippet chasing a whatever.
I think we need to look at the Aston Martin code. Tell me that thing is not a whippet in a straight line. That is ridiculous how much it manages to pull away. But then it's all immediately, it's absolutely covered in the corners. I think once the track starts to go a bit drier, and I think that's when we're going to see Whitehead really be able to take advantage. You can see every time he's getting on the throttle on the exit of the turns, his car's just unsettled a little bit, just seems to slide a tiny little bit, and that's really compromising his straight line speed. Under braking, he seems to be able to do it. It's sort of in the corners he can do it, but when it comes to just those corner exits, just don't think he can quite hook the car up enough.
Yeah, I mean, it could just be down to the fact that he's running that TC arrangement. But you never know. Oh, getting really out of fancy. And that was who was that? Aston Martin rejoining in front of them. too sure. Is that Remy Papin? No, it's not. It's Nico. Unfortunately, I'm pretty sure it is. Nico joining behind. No, it's not. It's another Apex 1. I just don't know who it is.
I think he's just left the pits, so that's a fair way down. Was that 666 or was it 566? That's Nowicki running in 31st place at the moment, 566. So yeah, left the pits.
Oh, and he's through.
To join this.
He's through.
Nicely done round the outside there.
Bajaj is coming back on the outside into 10. Sorry to interrupt you.
No, absolutely fine, mate. I mean, I wasn't really talking about a live battle. Absolutely fine. I think Nowicki decided, oh my God, look who's coming up behind me, and just dived off the track immediately, not wanting to cause any issues.
I ain't got time for these penalties.
You don't want both those fan bases coming after you, do you?
No,
That's like turn off your phone, bury it in the garden, maybe bomb the garden. Just you don't want that. You could never go online again, could you?
I'm not sure I've got enough fire to deal with that in the garden.
Yeah.
You'd have to bury it very deep and probably bury yourself. But no, he doesn't want to get in any part of this battle. Might have some problems with the stream too. Can you still hear me? Are we all still here? Are we live? Are we good? I think we are. Apologies, guys. We had a slight connection outage, but we should still be back. Yes, let me know in the chat if anything went wrong, if you're still with us. But yes, I think we're all good, Tim.
Yeah, as far as I can tell, we are.
We visited Narnia for a second there. Everyone was flying.
We did for a brief moment, but you know what? It was nice, wasn't it? It was a nice little break.
I saw that bloke with the backwards legs. Wasn't good.
What was his name? Mr. Thomas. Oh,
yes.
I've just seen someone go off just behind. Who was that just went? Oh, hello. Comrade Ciata, leading Porsche gone.
Oh, no.
We have.
That was maybe what caused those disconnects. That was, I think that might have been server wide. That little incident that I just had then might have been, oh my goodness gracious. That's the leading car gone through a connection issue.
Apparently a game crash we're seeing coming through. That's from North Swed 1 or North Swede 1. So whether or not they were watching Ciata's end or not, but that's an absolute killer for them. There's a couple of other penalties coming through as well. I mean, they kind of sort of pale in comparison to what we've just witnessed at the top with that disconnect. Yeah, such a shame, such an absolute shame. So there has a penalty come through, 10-second penalty for car number 72 and a license point. Yeah, Valentine Barrier rejoining and hitting car number 63, but the penalty has been reduced on the grounds that car number 63 could have left a bit more room. And then previous to that, car number 49 and 95 on lap 2, they are classing that as no further action, a racing incident, and that's just both drivers not giving each other space.
Yes, I think that you need a little bit of leniency with these weather conditions. Samir Foch, the first of the top boys to pull it into the pit then. You might see this start happening now, guys. Look, just touching on the incident we saw, or didn't, with Comrade Ciata, you've got to just put it down to, like, if your engine lets go in real life, or, you know, you have an incident where you've got to pull it over. You know, if you're in F1, unfortunately, Fernando, you've got to retire the car. And it hurts wherever you are. Unfortunately, it hurts. And Comrade Ciata, looking down the barrel of his first race win in AOR, will be distraught. However, it's opened up the doors for Skylar Loverink of the John and Lacey esports team to come away with the possibility here of winning the first race in AOR. Chris Warner also with the possibility in Apex 1. Also Nico, also with the possibility. Remy Papin, wouldn't that be an absolute shock for the books if he was managed to do something absolutely crazy? You never know. Look, anything can happen at this stage. But yeah, disaster.
Yeah, not what you want to see. Not, but yeah, it's one of those things, isn't it? Quick one. I'm seeing a lot of love for Kevin Niles in the.
Where is he?
So,
Where is he?
444 currently running in 19th place in that really cool livery, the Performance Unleashed livery. It's, you know, very reminiscent of the.
And he's in the pit.
The old Toyota Supra coming into the pits now as well.
Yeah, he's kept his nose clean. It looks. He's done a good job.
Yeah. So another incident has come in, car number 63 and car number 223, lap 20, 15-second penalty for car number 63 and 2 license points. So that is Duracorp was responsible for causing a moderate avoidable collision and hitting a spinning car. Or hitting and spinning car, Joshua Allen. So, yeah, that's what's happened there. Another incident, 15-second penalty, and a big chunk of licence points. They are really rolling in here this evening, aren't they, at Misano? And we are nearly halfway there, and we've already seen a fair few.
We have indeed. Yeah, I mean, that little connection issue that I had on the stream must have been server-wide, because it caused problems for me, obviously caused problems for Comrade Seata. Yeah, it's a real shame. Never mind. Well, every cloud, at least. This cloud's coming up Whitehead. He's in P6, Tim. Managed to get himself from the mid-30s all the way up into P6. Granted, he's not pitted, but he's probably looking to get it done soon. Gert Fischer pulling it in to repair much damage. Or was it Durkop? I can't remember. One of those Ferraris has got a lot of damage. And Jards comes in too. We'll see what the undercut is like then for everyone involved. Samir Foch in P17. He's our first of the pitters inside the top 10. So we'll keep an eye on how well he's doing and how well the early pit comes off for anyone doing the pit at the beginning. Loverink still out there in the lead. Warner in second. Remy Pappy in third. Remy Pappin in third. Luke Whitehead, because of the pitting, he's in P4. I mean, he's almost inside the top 3. He's almost back on the podium. He's like a robot. It's like the Terminator. He's a T2000, let's be honest.
I mean, how do you do it? How do you do it in Tier 1? How do you gain so much ground? Like we said, yes, he hasn't pitted yet, but realistically, I mean, Foch could possibly is going to be fairly high up there. He was within the top 10, I think, when he pitted. He was still reasonably attacking, I think, or I might be losing my mind completely, and feel free to tell me I'm going mad. But I feel like Foch, we're probably going to see jumping up the order when the timing screen sorts itself out a little bit.
Whereabouts is he, old Samir? P17. Yeah, I mean, he's gonna jump up a whole host of places, I would have thought. It'd be interesting. He'll definitely displace Jards, because Jards was behind him. So yeah, I'm not too sure what's going to happen. I actually don't know. He would be. Here we go. It's sorting itself out now.
Apparently.
11th place. But I mean, look, people around him haven't pitted. He was ahead of Perez. He was ahead of Terman, Fazekas. He was ahead of Torregrossa. So he's net P4, P5, I think, at this stage. Probably P4 because Luke hasn't pitted. He's in now though. Here we go. This will be a telling sign.
Well, I think also Avilés and Torregrossa also running, 20 seconds and 25 seconds respectively. They are immediately, that's just everyone behind them. That's free positions realistically for them, because there's not that much of a gap between anybody at the moment. So that's absolutely humongous ground to be made.
So obviously the leader pitted then for P2. Warner still out. This could be very interesting. If Samir Foch can get out before Loverink here, this could be the lead for Samir. This is very, very interesting at this stage of the race. Let's just stay with him as he rounds the final corner. If he's in front of Loverink, who's still in the pit now, this is net lead for Samir Foch. Let's see. Where's the number 52? Is he still in the pit?
Still in the pit. Hasn't been released yet.
Samir Foch is in the lead of the race, guys.
And there he goes. He's released from the pits. And that's a big gap. It's a huge gap. And there's a back marker between them as well.
Samir Foch is currently leading this race. As far as everyone knows, he's in P9 at the moment, or P6 as it's going to. He is technically leading. Because Warner will come in behind. Torregrossa, Rocha, Alves, or whatever, and Perez will all be behind. So yeah, I think at the moment, this is Foch versus Warner versus Loverink versus Pappin. And Foch is coming up Millhouse right now.
Yeah, Warner's just come into the pits. He actually was starting to be hounded by a car that had already completed their pit stop. So Warner into the pits now, obviously trying to, stop squabbling quite so much, as he was having to go a little bit defensive, and it wasn't a battle worth fighting because it technically wasn't for position.
It might even give Nicodem a good old bump up the order as well. I think Nico might be fighting for second place here today. All the while, when did Luke Whitehead came in? He came in a few laps behind, so yeah, he's still got to get past the BMWs. Yeah, pitting early then for Samir worked very, very well, it seems.
Yeah, I think as long as we don't sort of get some last minute big weather. Also, Warner is now moving. I think he should still be able to hold on to it. It's really going to depend how quick Foch is. I believe Foch is on the pit straight. In fact, I think Foch is going to take it away. Foch is going to take the lead. Yep, no way that Warner can hold it off. He's still controlled. going to hemorrhage positions while he's sat there. He's about to be released.
There goes
Off he
Samir.
goes now.
And
Honestly, I thought
Nicodem.
Warner was going to do better than that.
Yeah, Nico goes through as two. Well, Loverink was in the lead, so Loverink's the big loser there, down into P8. Nico managed to pit early and come in ahead of him as some of the top guys start to pit and remove some of their penalties. I mean top guys, the guys who have just stayed out the longest. It's good for Luke Whitehead then. He's going to get promoted up into 12th place. And he's got the big boys to take on now. This is going to be the real test. He's got the two BMWs to get past. He's got Valentin Barrier behind him. That's also going to be a bit off-putting, with Jardier fighting. So yeah, interesting times ahead. And Samir, the family favourite, is currently in the lead. I can't believe this.
I mean, technically, we have to say that Reshinov is in the lead.
Well,
He's currently still running in pole position, but I think he is one of the last. There's two cars out that haven't done it, and that is Reshinov and Perez. So, but you know what? Doesn't matter how long you're in pole position. He can now say that he has run in pole position in Tier 1, and that is commendable. Even if it is due to pit strategy, doesn't matter. His strategy worked. He's in pole at around the 3/4 mark. Sorry, the 2/3 mark. I think that's commendable. I couldn't do it. Couldn't do it even if I didn't have to pit and everyone had to pit twice. So
with a 30-second lead, some may say.
Yes.
He's got a bit to go. Torregrossa is in, and he looks like he has actually cleared his penalty, which is good. Valentin Barrier displaces Luke Whitehead for the fastest lap of the race. So the 72 car, with his penalties removed, he's not doing too badly, considering.
Did we ever see any penalties come through for Barrier? I'm not sure that we ever had.
Yeah, it was 5 seconds, I think it was. That's all he got. Yeah,
okay.
He was given, concession for not leaving enough room, I think was the answer.
Oh yes, it was. Yeah.
Durkop's got himself 15 seconds after pitting. What's gone on there?
Let's have a look.
That says the 63 car.
Oh yes. I think that was earlier on.
That's annoying, isn't it?
He must have just not. Well, no, I think that came in quite a while ago. I just don't think he did, because you can choose not to do your penalty, can't you? You can choose whether or not you're going to serve your penalty, and I don't think he served it.
Oh, that's frustrating. Okay.
Which I'm surprised. He's just going to take the 15 seconds to the end of the race. I mean,
anything could happen. There's no safety cars.
Yeah.
The 15 seconds is going to be less of a gap at the end than it is now.
Yeah, quite possibly. Oh, he got the penalty while he was in the pit. But I'm sure that came through quite a while ago. That has been on my screen, so I didn't read it out just because there was lots going on at the time. So surprised that's come through. I mean, realistically, it doesn't make any difference to the overall end. You're always going to lose 15 seconds. But just it is a bit disappointing when you know that now you're not going to sort of get to live battle for that position.
Yeah.
But speaking of penalties, car number 23 has picked up another licence point and 5-second penalty. And that is Aviles, responsible for hitting and spinning car number 111 of Perez on lap 8. And apparently, again, reduced penalty due to car number 111 not leaving any room.
Yeah, I mean, the only consideration there is if obviously he should have really been given the opportunity to unpenalise himself in the pit stop. You know, it all depends on what that penalty's for, as Luke Whitehead dispatches Gert Fischer for P9 inside the top 10. It was a small little notch by the looks of things on the exit curb, but he's all good. It might have been a small tap. That's why he's called the panel beater. You expect to get a little bit of the rear end when Luke Whitehead goes past. A little slap in the face, but thank you very much for holding me up. He goes up inside the top 10. And what was I going to say? Yeah, it all depends on what lap that came on. Like, if it's a penalty for, like, lap 10 or something, really frustrating it doesn't get implemented until after your pit. I know the stewards don't know, but it's not giving him the opportunity to get rid of it and get on a clean slate before going for the final stint of his session. Look, it's going to have to be done at some point, whether it's the end or the beginning, but yeah, things could have happened that could have maybe made it a better evening for him, but never mind.
Lap 20.
Oh, okay, maybe it's towards the middle of the race.
Yeah, I
What
think
are we
it was
on at
just
the moment? 32.
Yeah, so 10 laps ago.
That's before
20
the
minutes
pits.
ago time, like, well, how many laps? Yeah, only 32 laps.
It was probably just before the pits, so that it was really tough to get the turnaround.
Yeah, I think there's lots going on. It's not the, oh, there we go, car number 52 diving through the inside there. I think that's actually a back marker moving out of the way, wasn't it? I think. Oh, that was Perez, who still hasn't done their pit stop, diving out the way of everyone and letting that come through. Really surprised that Perez hasn't pitted yet, because they are absolutely hemorrhaging time. 2 seconds down on this lap already. And again, letting other drivers through. Maybe just gone that little bit too far on the tyres. Who knows? Maybe they were hoping for rain in the end, and they were going to go over to wets and try and do something amazing. But they are just absolutely letting people fly on past now.
Yeah, I think they'll probably have to pull that car in. It's probably the tyres have literally just gone off. We're on board at the moment then. Remy Papin in the G League Esports Elite, currently in 4th place, knocking on the door of Skylar Loverink to try and get onto the bottom step of the podium. Chris Warner back in 5th place. He's actually changed around with his teammate Nicodem, who's gone up onto 2nd place. So both Apex 1 cars still inside the top 5, so that's looking good. Luke Whitehead's going to get promoted to P8 because Perez is probably going to come in this lap. Luke Whitehead on the march still, looking to get onto the back of the next BMW, which is Durkop, which has the penalty, so technically he's P7.
As a quick one that's going to shake things up, I don't think it's actually appeared in the server yet. 5-second penalty for car number 997, and that is Nicodem, and that is for pushing car number 39, which is Jard, and causing him pushing him off the track.
Oh, and that is going to affect him because he's in 2nd place. Never mind. So he's got to get himself another 2.5 seconds on Loverink for it to not affect his race and keep his 2nd place. So he's got to open up those taps then, in other words, Tim.
Yeah, I mean, that's a real kicker, isn't it? I mean, possibly still going to be inside the top 10? Should be inside the top 10, I'd say, even with a 5-second penalty, looking at everyone's sort of delta gaps. But yeah, that's a real kicker. But again, you know, you do the crime, you have to pay the price, sadly.
Got to do the time. So Nico is in 2nd place. He's got to get himself another 2.5 seconds for the crime not to affect him in any way, shape or form. And he's managing to do that. He's got himself 2 tenths in that lap alone. So half an hour to go. It's not all over. He can still hold on to the podium. He's just got a bit of work to do, as it looked like Luke Whitehead went well off the track in between turns 12 and 13. But hey-ho, he's off. He hasn't got himself any penalties, and that's what can come at the end of this, Tim. It could be that we get drive-throughs that are affecting the top end of this race. So it's not all done yet for Samir Foch, even though he has got, arguably 3 seconds in hand. Anything can happen. And it could be caused by drive-throughs and unfortunate track limit bits and pieces. Christoph Poden's getting his arms out with the pack. I think that's Gert Fischer and Durkop. Oh my god, he's in a sandwich of annoyance. Who's in front of him? Oh no, it's Loverink.
That's Loverink. Loverink has lost 2 positions there in Sector 3. He was having quite a good squabble with Papin, and Warner took advantage and had the pair of them. I think it was in the final turn, turns 15 and 16. He just thought, yep, I'll just cruise on by while you two are squabbling. So yeah, not a good lap there for Loverink. He hemorrhaging positions at this point.
He never did get into the lead. He was P2, wasn't he, chasing down? I don't think... No, he did, because obviously Conrad Ciata's gone bye-bye, so I think he was leading for a little bit.
Yeah, for quite a while he was leading. Obviously that was pre-pit stops, but then it's the pit stops have come around and he just hasn't quite been able to match the pace of everyone around him. Pretty close. And there we go.
Conrad's in the chat. That game crash. Apologies to everyone. Mate, our apologies are firmly set your way, buddy. You're looking down the barrel of a first-time win with AOR. I'm just so sorry it didn't come off for you. Sad times.
We will be showing up to ACC developers, and we will be giving them a stern slap across the wrist for that one. Oh, big moves into turn 1.
Holding on to them. Fucking hell.
It's all got very messy. The main person taking advantage of this is Whitehead. Where has he come from? I'm sure that's Whitehead I've just seen come diving through.
It was.
Yeah, it is, isn't it? Just where on earth has he come from? He's just come flying. It's just... Okay,
oh dear.
Timing board still hasn't worked it out, still saying he's quite a long way back, but he's not, but he's still definitely in the squabble. He hasn't managed to break completely away, but while these are all having a go, coming up behind them as well now, Jards with the absolute longest legs in the world sprinting down this straight. And not, oh, there's a little bit of contact there.
More moves for Podens by the looks of things there, and Skylar Lovering going side by side and getting displaced. Yeah, you're right. I think that was Barrier and Jards going through.
Yeah, Jards just caught the back of Podens there, and as soon as that car let go, he had nothing to do. He just had to hold on and hope he could keep it in a straight line.
That is a little bit of a shame. Was it Barrier that got through? Yeah, it was. Yeah, it was Barrier and Jards going through. I don't think it was. I don't think it was Loverink involved. I can't remember who. I can't see who it was. Maybe it was Gert Fisher and Podens that were side by side into turn 8. But yeah, I don't know if Jards that caused that. But that was unfortunate for Podens. He was literally sideways for 2 corners on this lap. Apologies for the language, boys. It literally slipped out. We'll gloss over that. Whereabouts is Luke Whitehead? He's in 6th place, technically 5th, because Durkop's got a 15-second time penalty. He's got 2 seconds then to get onto the back of Remy Papin for 4th place. I mean, who'd have thunk it?
Oh, actually, technically, it's 2nd place because of that. Because Nicodem's 5-second penalty, isn't it, as well? So technically,
not quite second.
Yeah, so I'm trying to work out. No, because Warner's in 2nd, isn't he? Oh, right, okay, so he's in 3rd. Sorry, apologies. My brain is very confused.
Well, I think
at this
Nico
point the race would normally be over, and my brain would have a chance to go.
What went on?
But that's not going to happen. We're still here for another half an hour.
I think that Nico might hold on to this. He's got half an hour to gain himself 2 seconds, and that penalty will unpenalty himself. So Luke Whitehead then up the inside. It's surprising that Durkop doesn't give him the position here. 15-second time penalty under his belt. It doesn't hurt you to let someone who could possibly run for the podium past. I know he can't do it with everyone, but I mean, there is a point where, do you chase it anymore? I think he does finally let Luke Whitehead through, as actually they go side by side. And Luke does finally take the position, as Durkop unfortunately does have to yield. So Luke Whitehead then into his rightful place of 5th, and it's got to be a chance of being 4th if Nico drops back, but I don't think he will. I think this is still 4th place.
I would say when you've got someone like Luke Whitehead next to you, who is last year's champion, obviously he is 3 times champion as well. If you are there, it's quite that thing of, I know technically he's going to get past me. You think, I know realistically there's a high chance that I am going to get overtaken. But I mean, why not fight your heart out into the very end and see how long you can hold it off? You know, can you hold off the championship leader? Even if you know eventually you are going to lose it, just how many laps can you go toe to toe with Whitehead? You know, he's the reigning champion. You know, it's going in the ring with Tyson, isn't it? It's
yes.
Can I hold my own here for a little while? And so, although he may be thinking, I'm going to have to give this up, I'm really working hard. I mean, still just surviving a couple of rounds with him is absolutely fantastic.
Indeed. Yeah, I mean, you can't let it become easy to get past, but also you don't really want to hinder. I thought I'd just drop down to see, obviously, the fan favourite, Kevin Nars, in the Performance Unleashed Aston Martin. Currently P25 and close with Kraft and Amelas in 27th place, but he's got a penalty. Luca Vidalik had to come in and serve the 3rd drive-through of the session announcement. We might have more. I think there might be some others coming through at some point. There are people still in the pit. I don't know if we've got any more further down. I don't think we do. I think we're okay. But yeah, whereabouts are we towards the top end then? Who is fighting for those top spots? At the moment, Remy Papin looks like he's getting quite close to Chris Warner. Not gonna lie, could be happening soon. Let's see.
I do really like the abbreviated letters that you get on the windscreen of Remy Papin's car. The fact that it's just Pap, it's great.
Pap. It's the noise he makes as he drives on past, shifting gears. Little Frenchman there. Has he got a little French flag on his rear wing? I think he does.
Possibly.
Flying the tricolor, is it? I'm not sure it is. Yes, it is. I can see it.
Yes, he's got. He's flying his colours.
He's flying the baguettes with pride. Lovely. Croissants at dawn.
To be fair, it's a lovely liveried car. That
it is.
It's a very smart-looking car, isn't it? A sort of nice grey to yellow blend.
He does like a yellow car, does Remy Papin. He did have a really cool liveried car when he first came up into Tier 1. And when he was driving away with it in Tier 2. So yeah, it's good to see Remy Papin at the spiky end of the grid. But he does have the speediest man of the boys just behind him. What is the top time from Luke Whitehead? It's a 1:33.3.
Oh!
Yes.
What was that? No, don't worry. I think it was just the timing board having a bit of a wobble.
Okay.
Just for a moment, it showed 888. Samir Fosh.
Oh, we got an accident further back.
He's lost a position, isn't he?
Oh, it's a huge accident there. Never mind. Oh, that's sad times for Valentine Barriott. We're going to go back 30 seconds. We will have to go up to what you just said there, because I think, like you say, Chris may have had some incidents.
Yeah, Fosh spun at the end of the back straight, so that's through turns 11 and 12, and he lost pole position.
Oh.
I was all confused because there was a yellow triangle, and I was like, what's the yellow triangle mean? It's because the leader comes up as a triangle, and then it changed. Oh, goodness gracious. So Fosh is now second place.
Where did he spin?
That was turn 11, well, technically turn 12. Just looked like the car just never settled after turn 11, and as he went into turn 12, the car rotated and he went deep into the gravel on 13.
Okay, well, I was back with, unfortunately, we missed actually the rewind. Never mind. We were back with Valentine Barrier and co. There was an incident, unfortunately, with Yards. So, yeah, we had a little look back there. So Nico then, this is the task that's set out in front of him. He's got 5-second penalty, and he's got himself 3 seconds worth of ballast to try and undo. So there you go. There's the task for Samir Fosh. He's got 2 seconds worth of lead at the moment. Nico has got to make 2 seconds to make the race win his own. Chris Warner is technically in second-ish place, but it's on the bubble with Nico over that 5-second aggrievement I mentioned. Remy Papin is probably still fourth, with Luke Whitehead in fifth and closing. It's anyone's at this stage.
Nicodem's race really now hangs in Fosh's hands, isn't it? It is, depending on what Fosh does. If Fosh can really open the taps and recover, fantastic. If he can't, and he decides to go defensive against Warner and Papin, then that is it. You know, Nicodem can fly away. You can gain so much time when the drivers behind you are going defensive. So really, it's down to Fosh either going full attack and managing to pull away, or letting the other drivers through and giving up the positions. I just can't see Fosh giving up positions easily. You know, he's one of the old guard. He will be there saying, no, I deserve to be here on the podium. He was doing really well in qualifying. It's only because the timings were so incredibly close that he ended up dropping down a little bit on the qualifying pace. But he could do it, although he does look like he's still maybe recovering from that spin. He does look like he is under attack from Warner and Papin.
Yeah, I mean, do you play the Carlos Sainz here, and do you lead Papin into Warner and cause problems for the cars behind to squabble so you can break that toe? I mean, it might be on his mind as Remy Papin moves to the outside to try and get past Warner, and he doesn't make a move happen. I mean, yeah, all Samir could do is either knuckle down or just play a little strategic game in the slow areas where you know you can overtake. Give Chris Warner maybe a look, maybe on the inside, make him vulnerable to Papin behind, and you never know, something could happen, and then that leaves Samir Fosh with some space and some time. I'm not too sure though. You know, this grid is so close, and you do silly things like that, and you let the likes of Luke Whitehead through, and he's only 2 seconds behind this group. So, yeah, I mean, I think all Samir can do is just try and concentrate, regain that composure, and go fighting after Nicodem. Technically, he's still in the lead.
Yeah, on the timing board, he is still in the lead. I think the issue as well for Fosh is going to be such different cars behind him. If he goes defensive, and he's already about to... No, it's not. He might hold on to the position. How on earth did Warner hold that slide? He still managed to gain sort of ground while absolutely on the opposite lock. And he's going super attacking on Fosh now. Looks to the outside. Can he do it here under braking? Possibly not, but again, now looking to the inside is Papin.
Oh, there was a touch.
And Papin's going to go through. I think he's going to use the extra performance of the Aston Martin, and this is the perfect place for the Aston to be in front. It now knows if he can just hold on to it through here.
Look who's behind them.
I know, Whitehead's into the battle as well now. It's all going absolutely Pete Tong for Fosh. But now look at the Aston Open. It's absolutely flying. There we go. absolutely, it's just gone. Immediately, it is gone. We super attacked all the way through the end of this sector and sector 1. It will be absolutely holding on for dear life. But it just needs to get to that back straight so it can open up the taps.
They know this is why. They know this is for the lead, because they know that there's 5 seconds worth of penalties ahead, and it's 4.8 seconds. Nicodem is almost guaranteeing himself his win here because of the squabbles, and Remy Papin's off the track, and he's lost 2 positions in 1, and there goes Luke Whitehead. Here comes the Ripper. This is why he's on the top spot, and he's going to pounce for the chance of winning this race after the disaster of the turn 1 incident, lap 1, and he's coming onto the side of all of these cars, and he wants to make a move around the outside of turn 3, and he has got past Samir Foch, and it's Chris Warner with the position up for grabs now. Samir dropping away, unfortunately, and Remy Papin paying the price.
Slight bit of contact there between Foch and Whitehead, and that's unsettled Whitehead on the exit, and he's going to have to go super defensive, try to move across on Foch. Not quite able to. That gap is still open, and in fact Foch retakes the position before the braking zone. Can he hold on to it around the inside? Slightly tighter line, car number 55 of Whitehead all the way to the outside edge. He's going to be on the inside, possibly here into the braking zone. Can he do it? Through turns 9 and 10. Yes, he does. He goes back in, and Papin also goes up the inside.
Oh, Samir!
Round. Whitehead is rotated.
He held on the brakes of the car. Perfect there from Luke Whitehead. He couldn't do any different at that point. I think it's thrown away the race win for him, because here comes Jards in that mighty lion of an Aston Martin, and he's going to be furious. How many times does the Ripper have to be pushed off the track this time? It's not his race, and it doesn't look like it's Samir's race either. I think that's going to be a penalty. Signed, sealed, delivered. Chris Warner's got himself the gap he needed, and so's Nicodem at the moment. Nico currently in the lead by 1 second, followed by Chris Warner and Remy Papin, and Samir Foch dropping out of grace, unfortunately, and Luke Whitehead all the way back down into 9th place. There's going to be penalties, Tim. There must be penalties.
There is going to be penalties. To be fair, there were just under 20 minutes left of the race. It might be a challenge to get some of these in before the end of the race. The main thing to take away from this is, it's just, I think everyone at home, regardless of what team you are supporting, everyone is now behind Nicodem to just keep going. 6.1 seconds ahead of Warner now. I know there shouldn't be any bias, but I really want to see an Aston in pole position. It'd be lovely to see. So, so it's not one of the big names of esports. It's not Jards, it's not Whitehead, it's not Barrier, it's not the massive big name streamers. It's Nicodem, and he's doing an absolutely fantastic job. And although he has that 5-second penalty, apart from that, he's kept his nose pretty clean, and he's managed to legitimately get himself 6.1 seconds ahead of Warner in car number 11.
Whatever happens at the moment is Apex 1 in the lead. Let's put it that way. Apex 1 cars are 1 and 2. There you go. There's a turnout for the books. He's got himself 1.2 seconds now in the lead from his teammate. His teammate here could have put a blinder.
Sorry,
go for it.
Number 4, Gert Fischer, number 4. That is a drive-through number 4.
Ah, damn. Never mind. That was my prediction. Yep. Gone with the wind, and I think it won't be the last. I've got a funny feeling we're going to see another drive-through at some point.
But that's another position for Whitehead to take away. So there's obviously Durkot with 15 seconds in front of him. There's Gert Fischer with the drive-through in front of him. That's 2 positions for free. Still not what he would have wanted, but 7th, is better than 9th.
Ah, such a shame. We're on board with Skylar Loverink. I just don't want to call it now. I was all for Samir to run away. You got to remember as well, Samir pitted a lot earlier than some of the guys around him, so his tyres are going to be screaming. So I'm not surprised that he came under attack quite viciously there. He wasn't able to hold on to any kind of defence with guys around him with the better tyres. Look how much Remy Papin has been able to pull away now he's been given space. Chris Warner as well has managed to do that too. Well, let's see. I mean, at the moment, it's all Nicodem Sobchak's chance to come away with his maiden win for AOR. And Luke Whitehead is currently behind Jards, but only just. I'm sure that's going to get spicy coming towards the end of this race. Where is Luke Whitehead? He's side by side with Jards. He's past Jards. Okay, there we go.
Just having a little look. Here we go. Penalty has just come in. Oh my goodness, how many cars involved? So car number 39, 69, 72 and 78. This was lap 39, 15-second penalty for car number 39. and that is Jardier for causing an incident with Valentine Barrier.
Yes, that was the barrier incident we saw as Samir spun. So yeah, Jard's got caught up and absolutely ram-raided Valentine Barrier. So Jard's is going to get himself a little slap there. Any penalty points for that one?
Yes, 2 license points for that one. So that's a big old slap on the wrist. I was just having a little look at the team standings. Now, we keep saying about the fact that obviously, I think it was race 1 and race 2, it has been a 1-2 finish for Veloce Esports,
yes,
which is absolutely amazing, you know, fantastic. But they are not officially signed up for the team's championship. They're all running those names in-game, but they're not officially signed up for it. So actually, Thomas Eng Racing is in the lead with 111 points, but Apex 1 are officially signed up as a team and currently running in 4th place in the championship regarding teams. But this is going to be a massive gain for them. The 2 of their drivers in the top, on the podium. It's really fantastic for them.
It will be. I mean, surely that's something AOR can fix for Veloce. I don't see why they can't just go, yeah, we'll put you together. We know that you're in a team. Yeah, whoopsie.
You would like to think so. I mean, I guess it's the fact that if Veloce haven't signed up for the for the team championship, I think it is a case of, or they all run slightly different names, don't they? I don't think they all say Veloce and just Veloce. I think the names of them are all slightly different. But yeah, there we go. So, you know, there's a possibility that actually Apex 1 could make some absolutely massive ground this evening in the overall championship when it comes to teams.
Definitely. I mean, I think Aidan Walsingham and Luke Whitehead are the official entry. I know Jards has now gone over to his Yas Heat livery, so I'm assuming he's running with Yas Heat, which I've got a funny feeling is all something to do with him and his team that he helps run. I know he's done entries with Yas Heat a few times, so I'm assuming he's doing it under that banner now. I don't know. Maybe he's managed to do it. Apologies for the shotgun, guys. It was going to come at some point, let's be honest. The sound is back, and we're not dead, so that's the best thing that come from that. Lejeka's getting absolutely squished out with the cars around him. I think that was Torregrossa and the Porsche of Fazkus muscling their way past. Poor little Lejeka's there. Super Snell Racing, unfortunately, getting pushed to the back, not too sure why, but yeah, getting displaced quite unceremoniously. And you can see there Kevin Niles just getting up to the back of that pack. Did you get shotgunned? Or was it just me?
I personally didn't, but that's because I'm in the server my own self, aren't I? I'm also in the server separately. But I did get shotgunned last Tuesday, so that was lots of fun. It definitely caught me off guard. The sniper. The ACC sniper was over my shoulder.
I have had one where it rocked me to my core, but that one was alright. That was just a little tipple. I think if the server's running for a long time, the shotgun can be quite vicious. I've got a funny feeling Kyle Army was one of the worst ones ever, and it was deafening. I don't know what causes that. It'd be good to find out. Does anyone know what causes the ACC shotgun?
Because I've only ever had it when I'm like broadcasting. I have never had it while racing or playing the game in any way, shape or form. I've never heard it apart from when you're in spectator mode and broadcasting. So maybe it must be a weird bug with broadcast mode, possibly. So realistically, it's only going to be people that are streaming and broadcasting, essentially, not just necessarily streaming their own race. Probably a bit of a niche one that probably not that many people really have, but for us guys in the commentary booths that are here and we're churning out hour upon hour of this kind of thing, we're probably the only ones to ever really experience it. I just want to quickly say, Nicodem so far have finished the first race in 30th place, and then second race was 15th place. So this is a massive improvement. So absolutely fantastic effort. A 30th, a 15th, and now could be bringing home a first place.
Could
be bringing home a first place.
No curses here.
Yeah, no curses. I mean, there's been enough. There's been enough dead certs this evening that have suddenly absolutely gone out the window again. I mean, it was a dead cert that Whitehead was going to win. It was then a dead cert that there was no way he could get back inside the top 5. It was then a dead cert he was going to be on the podium. And then it's just ridiculous.
Joel Fraheim has just said, we've come to the conclusion in Jar's chat that everyone in Veloci/Yas Heat has hit someone else in their team. I think that's probably about right, because I'm sure Whitehead and Jards have come together. I'm sure, well, definitely Aiden's come together with Luke. We know that much. Oh dear, yeah. Civil war up in the Veloce camp at the moment. This caused absolute chaos. They're outside the top 5. One of them's not even finishing this race. Yeah, never mind.
Ooh, I'm not sure if it was just on my end, but I just had quite a big server glitch. It might have just been my end. Who knows? But
sometimes server glitches are met with people leaving. So we'll
I didn't notice anyone, obviously. But chat is probably going to start saying, oh my god, how did you miss such and such?
JF says he's still got the panel beater to get onto the podium. I mean, it's going to be quite... I don't know, where is he at the moment then? He's P6, technically, because Durkop's going to be way off. He's got a bit of work to do, but, you know, it's not impossible. 10 minutes to go. He's got to get to where Foch and Papin are now. I think it might be a bit too much. But, I mean, worse has happened at sea. You never know at this stage. You might still
worse
see.
Has happened just in this race, to be honest.
Well, at one point we were at sea, let's be honest.
Yes, at one point we were at sea, and then it's just, you know, even on dry land, things haven't got any safer. There appears to still be sharks in the water, but they're in the tarmac today. Not gone the way I thought it was going to go this evening whatsoever. You know, sometimes it can be a little bit daunting going into these slightly longer races, but I think the fact that we've had a very, very nice, strong grid, and the fact that there's been such, you know, incredibly close racing and obscure incidents, it's been a really good, interesting one so far. And still with just over 9.5 minutes left to go.
Best race of the season by far, by a long stretch. It's been fantastic. Best race of the season. Hasn't been a damp squib at all. Little sprinkle of rain, add 90 minutes, and add a Luke Whitehead out of position, and you get fireworks all the way through. What more can you want out of an AOR race on a Monday evening? Not a lot, to be honest. I'm very happy with how this has gone. How Luke Whitehead hasn't got himself one single penalty, and he's had to come through P30 all the way through and get past everyone, let's be honest, apart from Samir Foch, Durkop, Remy Papin and all of that, you know, bits and pieces. He got past Durkop at one stage, didn't he? It wasn't Foch, Papin and Warner who wasn't able to get past. I mean, that's, yeah, I don't know. He took his shot and he just about missed. It was only just missed. Jard's got the penalty, chat, for T-boning who was it? T-boning someone.
Number 72, Barrier.
It was Valentin Barrier. Sorry, I couldn't remember where he is. Where is he now? Whereabouts is he in the? Is he gone? Is he finished? I think he might have thrown in the towel. I can't see him.
That's a very good point. I cannot see.
He is coming out of the pit now. He must have done a drive-through.
Yes. Is that number 5 I see down at the bottom, car number 56?
You've got Lejekas also, and
Yeah.
we did actually have another one in, so I think it's actually 6.
Oh, hello. We've got another penalty about to appear, or it may have already appeared for everyone else at home already. Car number 63 has picked up a... Oh, actually, hang on, there's multiple here. So, right, cars 52, 63, 69, lap 36, 5-second penalty for car number 63 and a licence point.
That's Durkop.
And then a 5-second penalty for car 69 and 0 licence points. And that is 69's Judd. No, it's not. Who is 69? 69.
Giggity, it's Kirsten Podens. That was for
Yes.
the turn 8 incidences with Jards. I would have thought.
This is saying lap 36. Florian Duracorp and car, that's 63, and Kirsten Podens, 69, causing a minor avoidable incident. Collision into turn 1 on lap 36.
Oh, maybe it was just before that. It was around that time, at least. Yeah. Yeah.
So they're still rolling in these penalties, so it's not over yet. The weather may have levelled off. The temperature may have levelled off. The wind has even given up and just gone home for the day. It doesn't want to be involved in these antics anymore. It's just decided to stop. But the battles are still going on. Papin's still right on the back of Warner. And at the moment, by nearly 2 seconds, the Aston Martin's going to take it. It's the moment.
Let's see the gap between Nicodem then. Where is he? He's got himself, 6.9, so he's almost 2 seconds ahead from his teammate, so clearing that penalty quite well. Yes, Remy Papin only 3/10 behind. Lioski saying no penalty for Foch, question mark. I'm not sure just yet. I know Foch obviously hit round Luke Whitehead earlier, so it's on the cards, and that's the last incident that we saw, so it should be coming soon. We should see a penalty for 888 come up, but we've not been not been told about it yet. We did think it would be a bit of a push to get it towards the end of this race, but I think it will come. So keep your eyes open for a penalty at the top spot. It'll be a shame, because he is actually in 3rd place, but... no, he's in 4th, sorry. He's in 4th place. Still a shame.
Right. Lap 42 incident involving cars number 6, 11 and 888.
This Warner! That's Foch!
5-second penalty, for car number 11, and that is Chris Warner for causing contact with car number 888, Samir Foch, and that was causing both of them to lose a position to car number 6.
So has Foch got a penalty as well?
No, it is just car 11 has picked up a 5-second penalty and 1 licence point. So it's Chris Warner for causing contact with car number 888, and that then caused Samir Foch of 888 and car number 6 of Remy Papin to both lose a position.
Okay, so we still haven't had the penalty come up for Foch versus Whitehead. This is getting confusing. All right, Warner then is out of it now. So Loverink is in P3, technically, I think, just about. Remy Papin is in 2nd. Foch is in P3? Yes, no, Papin in 2nd, Foch in 3. Oh my goodness. So yeah, Loverink and Luke Whitehead can still get something out of this. Oh my god. What happened with Alan taking out Jards on the straight? I don't think that was an incident that took Jards out. I mean, I think Jards hit Alan, to be honest. I don't know. We are not the stewards, okay? We just talk about
racing incidents. There's been a lot of racing incidents, no further actions. I just don't read them all out because there are so many of them that come through.
I'm just surprised the stewards got past the damp incidents we had earlier.
Yeah, so they were fairly busy, weren't they, at the beginning of that? What number was Alan? Joshua Allen is 223. I'm gonna have a rummage. I'll have a rummage through the list and see if I can see anything there.
Look what we got going on behind. So we've got Luciano is currently in P11 with Lois just behind him. Mattia De Campo doing very well, just a little bit further behind in the Tez Lambo team. We've seen Mattia De Campo this far up in a little while, at least fighting. Same for Lois and Luciano. It's good that these long races have brought up some of these other drivers that, aren't normally in the limelight, such as Loverink, such as, Lois and Luciano. It's good to see. Mattia De Campo then chasing the little battle that's happening up ahead. Warner had a 5-lap penalty at the start of the race. Doesn't that mean he was banned from qualifying? Yeah, he might have done. Licence points at the start. That would be Warner. I don't know. Is it 5 that it's the qualifying incidents? I did say at the beginning, I'm not too sure if anyone has 5. Ritas saying that he had 5 at the start of the race. I don't know how he's found that.
It's in. It is in. Car number 6, 55 and 88, lap 43. 15-second time penalty for the 888 car and 2 licence points. So that is Samir Foch for hitting and spinning car number 55 of Luke Whitehead. So it's in. 15-second penalty for Foch.
Okay, so, right. Leading then the race at the moment is Nicodem. 2nd place then is Remy Papin. 3rd place would be Loverink. And 4th place is Luke Whitehead. Right, so Luke Whitehead's on for a podium. If he could get past Loverink, he's got a 2nd to do so. Okay, right. Let's see what happens, guys. Hold on to your butts. It's going to get spicy. Luke Whitehead has got a possibility. Can anyone get over to Luke Whitehead right now and tell him, you've got 2 minutes, mate, to get yourself onto this podium, because it can happen. Knowing Luke Whitehead, he's already got the calculator out in his head, of course, and he knows this. He's already worked out, because he's looking at the time screens, he's looking at those penalties, and he's actually saying, right, the car in front of me is 3rd place. What can I do here? He knows. He does.
The other side of this, it's going to be, I really hope that there is somebody there for Loverink now saying that you have inherited 3rd place.
Yes.
Fight with everything you've got. I hope someone is letting him know, or letting them know, that they can have a podium spot. It's still not on. All they have to do is hold off. It's quite a challenge. Is to hold off Whitehead. I mean, it's so close now, isn't it? And but it is the most daunting person in the championship.
So we've got
to
2
have
laps
behind you. Yeah, 2 laps. It's doable for both of them. Realistically, it's going to be a case of Lovering just has to try and stay as clean as possible, not make any emails. You know, emails. Sorry, I read that. I was like on the screen. It just. Oh yeah. There's something going absolutely in the chat. So I'm not sure what entirely is going on there. I'm not sure what's going on.
JF
Oh,
said
well,
he
never
sent
mind.
Whitehead an email. He'll know. I think the more important thing is to say that Lovering needs to be told that he technically is on for a podium. He should know, or they should know. I don't assume. You've got to get the message to them in some way, shape or form. I'm sure people at Jean Alesi will be watching and going, look, you're on for a podium. You never know. You've got to just hold back the panel beater, the Ripper himself, in 1 lap. That's all you've got. Nicodem is on the final lap now. He's just gone through turns 1 with a little bit of traffic around him, but he is still leading. 6 seconds is the gap with that penalty. So yeah, I think that's the win already done. Luke Whitehead then, looking down the back of the 52. He's going to go for the inside. Thinks better of it. Skyler going to the inside and holding that position, looking for the switchback. Luke Whitehead has to think better of it. Come on, you can do it, Skyler Lovering. You've got to see the podium is on the cards here. But the man in P7, technically in P4 at the moment, he's done everything he needs to do to get himself a podium. Let's be honest. He's been round 3 times. He's come from the back already. But what a swan song it would be if Skyler could hold on to position this afternoon. I mean, it's in the lap of the gods now, unfortunately. Right, where is the final car then? We want to call them as they come across the line. I think they're just going through turn 10. So I think we're okay. Where's Luke Whitehead then? He's still on the back of Skyler Lovering going in to turn 10 themselves now. Luke looking for the sneaky line, doesn't get it, but gets a good drive. He's going to be so close going through 11, 12 in that back section. I want to stay with Nicodem, really. I don't want to miss him coming across the line for what's going to be his first win for AOR. If he can just keep together these last couple of laps, and we are looking at Luke Whitehead getting so close to the back of Skyler Lovering, and there is Jards in the background looming large as Nicodem Sobchak comes through the final corner, flashes the lights. Is he going to? He's going to the pit wall and crosses the line for the top spot with AOR. Fantastic finish for him. Luke Whitehead then looking menacing on the back of Lovering as we come through the final corner. Come on, Skyler, you've got to hold back the fastest man in AOR this season, the fastest man for 3 seasons on the trot, and they have done it across the line for 3rd place for Skyler Lovering for the first time in AOR, and a podium finish. But Luke Whitehead, oh my god, what a race.
I think we're going to have to wait till the timing board has sorted itself. I am seeing some things that people reckon Warner was only going to drop to 3rd place in the timings. There's also obviously the big thing of people saying that Warner possibly, because of license points, shouldn't have qualified.
Oh.
So that may be the case of yeah, I'm not sure what's going to happen there, because realistically you thought he would have been banned by AOR automatically, or should have.
Warner might hold on to that, you know, actually. Sorry, go on.
It might be a case of he might end up keeping it. It might be a case of he misses the next race for qualifying. I'm not sure. I mean, everyone else is pouring across the line. Sorry, I'm going over numbers rather than celebrating everyone else's finishes.
Oh, it's going to be so close whether Warner holds on to that. I can't do the maths and that in my head. That's 1, that's 4. Yeah, I mean, it might just be 5 and some tenths. Organisers' fault wasn't. Apparently, they weren't looking into the penalty. I'm not too sure. I don't know. I mean, it could be that Chris Warner shouldn't have qualified. I mean, he can still go out. He just can't put a time in. So it's up to Chris Warner. If he puts a time in, technically, his time should be default, thus making his result default. I don't know. Would be the answer, and I think that's down really to the organisers. At the moment, though, we know definitely the race winner is Nicodem Sobchak, so congrats to him. It could be, well, I don't know why we're glossing over this. Remy Pappin's in 2nd place, guys. Let's just have 5 seconds for that. Chris Warner could be 3rd. At the moment, he's 1st, but no, it's only because Thingy left, but he could be 3rd. I'm not entirely sure. Lovering could also be 3rd because of these penalties that could be coming. I mean, I don't know where to start. I don't know where to go. It's like the end of a championship and no one knows who's got the crown.
Yeah, because Nicodem left, now it's messed with the timing board quite a lot. And I'm not entirely sure. He's now not showing up on the timing board, which is absolutely fantastic. So
the organisers would have got a clip of it. So the coordinators are on that, at least.
Yeah, so at the moment, it was... Oh, hang on. It was going on here. Oh, everything... my timing screen just disappeared. Thank you, Mr. Timing Screen. I appreciate that so much. There we go. Right, the official... It's come in. As of now, it was Nicodem on pole. Then it was Papin. Warmer third.
Wow.
Lovering fourth. Whitehead fifth. That's what I'm getting on the in-game thing. And that includes all penalties that were in place before they crossed the finish line.
The big question is, though, should Chris Warner have qualified? That's the question I think that the chat are talking about right now.
Yeah.
Should he have qualified? And if he qualified, he should technically get his result taken away. Because that, if he did have 5 penalty points, and to be honest, I don't actually know how to find out if he did have 5 penalty points. Let's see if we can find that out. Is there any way we can look into that?
Do you want me to have a little dig into it on the server? Because I think you can look into drivers individually.
Warner. Let's have a look. I can also look at that. I think that looks license points not yet served 5. Look, he's got a qualifying ban on his record, yes, but was that gained through today? Did he get any license points in the race today? Can you find that out? That would be telling.
Yes, he did. He at least picked up 1 this evening.
So I think he might have been on 4 at the beginning of this race. Not what we are all thinking. So at the moment, he is on the podium as far as I can see. And I'm sure some coordinators could probably come in and save us the disgrace of our issues we've got here. However, let's not get bogged down by who qualified and who didn't, as Jeremy likes to say. Shall we get Remy Papin and some others in for a chat? Bless Skylar's here. Skylar might think that they're in 3rd place. I'm not sure they are. Let's speak to Remy Papin, who has come away with 2nd place for the first time. So let's have a little chat now. Remy Papin, welcome to the comms box and to the 2nd step on the podium. I don't think we've seen you on the podium before, have we? Question mark?
No. It's my first time in Split 1.
Fantastic.
Let's go.
Let's go indeed. Fantastic livery, I must say. Obviously, you have seen the top steps in Tier 2, but seeing you come through Tier 2 into the top of Tier 1, obviously, first of all, crazy race, and congratulations for reaching the flag without any penalties or drive-throughs. Did you think it was actually on the cards today?
No. I wasn't expecting that at all. My pace was decent, but I mean top 10 at best. And I think I got very lucky today. I managed to avoid all the crashes around me. And all have been perfect for me. So
Fantastic.
Very pleased with that.
I mean, what a result. You can't do any better than that. Was there, obviously, at points you were going toe-to-toe with some of the fastest boys in this split. Obviously, you saw the incidents going on around you with Luke Whitehead and Samir Foch. How did you approach that without going, God, I've got to get out of the way, I can't make mistakes? What do you do in that situation?
Every time I'm trying to find the line, we could be optimum. So a lot of time it's the whole switcheroo when you can go deep to get a better line, and it's much prepared the exit, but I'm not thinking about the possible of an accident. The both time I managed to avoid this. It's much the lucky time. Like when Luke and Foch crashed, I was aiming for the inside because I knew they were going deep, and I just avoid him by a millimeter.
I mean, look, I'm so pleased to have you up here and getting that massive points haul. And it's good to see Remy Papin back in the top spots once again in AOR. So, man, well done. Congratulations on your first Tier 1 podium. We'll let that settle in, and hopefully, man, we see you up here again.
Yeah, for sure. Thank you very much, guys.
No problem. And, congrats.
Have a good evening. See you. Bye-bye.
You too, buddy. You too.
Cheers.
Right, we do have some news. Okay, now, This has been said from the coordinators in the background. Warner shouldn't have qualified. It's our mistake. However, we did not notify him. He will serve it the next race. Look, be that down to whoever wants to take that up with the stewards if that's unfair. I think that's probably a shout for Skylar Loverink. I don't know. That's up to them. That's on the coordinators after. That's the decision as it is at the moment, and that's how the result stands. So currently, Chris Warner got himself third place. So I think it's only fair that we have a little chat. Chris.
Hello, hello.
Hello, hello, hello. Right. There was some controversy this afternoon, my friend.
Was there?
Well, currently it's third place. However, apparently there's been rumbles in the jungle that you should have served a penalty this evening in the way of not qualifying.
I was going to protest something from Zandvoort, but I didn't know how to. Because
okay.
I felt I got a 15-second penalty at Zandvoort, and I feel as though it was too harsh. So I was thinking I'd be able to protest that or something. I thought I'd only be on 4 license points at the moment.
Yes, well, at the moment at least, maybe because it wasn't protested in time. I don't know. I don't make up the rules. At least before the race, you did have 5 that were logged. However, apparently the coordinators didn't tell you, didn't notify you. So you're going to serve it.
Hadn't.
You're going to serve it next race, apparently. So
Yep.
as it stands at the moment, third place is yours.
Okay.
Whether the competitors around you think that's fair or not is completely up for discussion. So you might find that, some other teams put in a protest of that nature. Who knows? At the moment, mate, third place is yours. So how does it feel to be on the third step of the podium?
Pretty crazy, to be honest. First season of AOR, so it's been pretty bad start up until now. It hasn't been my best sort of run, sort of thing. But very happy to actually perform decent today, sort of thing. And one of my moves, I think it was when I did the double overtake, that was like pretty good feeling.
I mean, looking at this whole race as a whole, it was chaos. I'm not going to lie.
Yeah.
Mixed conditions, mixed, unfortunate outcomes for a lot of the top drivers. But it looks like your Apex 1 the team?
Yeah.
You come away with a 1-2, or 1-3, sorry.
1-3, yeah.
1-3. Podiums all round for the team, though. Fantastic result.
Yeah, that's not too bad.
I'm assuming your teammate isn't joining in for the chat, because normally they hop on over.
I'm not certain, actually.
If he isn't, pass on our congratulations to him, because obviously it's his first and opening win with AOR, so obviously congratulations to them and him and the team. But yeah, I mean, coming onto the top tier of AOR comes its own, I guess, worries. Did you really think that you could be, fighting it with the top guys from the get-go, or do you think it would be a bit of a slow burn?
Well, I've always been sort of battling with, like, Jardia and stuff coming from his community.
Mm-hmm.
So I've always sort of like competed in JCL as well and been around those sort of lot. So it's been nice to finally get into some proper leagues that are top tier and like see how it is for real.
Good stuff. I mean, look, fantastic result right now. Obviously, you never know what's going to happen, but I think as the results say, they're going to stand as they are.
Okay.
Yeah, good points. All round, fantastic points for the team. I think that would mean Apex 1 will go actually to the top of the team championship, which is pretty crazy. Veloce didn't register as a team, so that's on them. Yeah, unfortunately. Otherwise, they'll be running away with it. But mate, congrats on your maiden podium with AOR Tier 1. That's quite an achievement in your first season. Well done.
Thank you very much. I'll probably research into maybe protesting the previous round on the penalty if I still am able to. If not, then
I don't know.
Next week. But
I'm not
that's
sure.
Right.
If not, you'll have to serve it next week, because that's all I can see.
Yeah, that's all right.
But yeah, I mean, fantastic result anyway. Thanks for joining us in the comments box for a chat. Appreciate it. Hopefully, we'll see you again soon.
Yep, thank you.
No problem. Right, we do have Skylar Loverink in the interview pen at the moment, and look, I think it's only right we have a chat and obviously explain the situation, because I think they already do know, but it was such a close race, it doesn't matter, we haven't been able to speak to the leader, so let's get Skylar up for a little chat quick. Skylar, thank you for joining us for a quick chat. I hope you're still here, because I know you can see your mic is muted there. Frustrating end of the race there. I think it's been confirmed by the coordinators at the moment that 1, 2, 3 is Nicodem, Remy Papin, Chris Warner. Obviously, Chris shouldn't have started that race with the time that he started with. Is it something, do you think you're going to possibly protest? We don't have Skylar, by the looks of things. Well, Skylar, if you can hear us, thank you for joining us. We can always talk about it next week, at least. Are you there at all? No, I'm not going to flog that dead horse any longer. Sorry, Skylar. Appreciate you joining us in there, but we'll just drop you down for ready for interview another time. Thank you very much for joining anyway. Right, yeah. Controversy. It doesn't always happen, but when it does, it can be awkward for the commentators. But, I mean, what would you do in that sense, Tim? What would you do?
I think it's one of those hard ones. I mean, realistically, I think it's fair play to the community themselves, well, to the coordinators themselves for putting their hands up and saying that it was their fault. I'm getting another message from Loverink saying he's in, but I'm not sure if for any reason it didn't work a moment ago, did it? So I'm not sure. I think we might have to have a little. I'll have a chat with him sort of throughout the week, and we can have a little update. But yeah, I think it's one of those ones of everyone at home it's very easy to sort of get all built up, and it's, especially when it's your favorite driver that necessarily is either lost out because of it. I don't think at any point that Chris Warner did it to take an advantage, as we did here. He and the coordinators have straight up said he shouldn't have qualified, but it was the coordinator's fault. They didn't notify him. So as far as Chris Warner was concerned, he was allowed to qualify. And so obviously what they could do is they could say, well, you shouldn't have. We take away your race, we take away all your, positions completely. We put you to the back of the grid. We give you 0 points. But then you could argue on pace, a bit like what we saw with Whitehead, he might not have finished completely stone last, even if he had started stone last.
Yeah.
So
it's a tough one.
It's one of those things. It is a tough one. Obviously, next week he won't be able to qualify. Fair enough. I think that's a good idea. I think that's making the best of a bad situation. It's one of those situations where you're not going to please everybody all the time. Obviously, Lover Inc. is probably going to be disappointed that he isn't able to have third place. But as it was on the track at the time, everybody out there thought they should have been racing. Nobody else realised as well that Chris Warner shouldn't have been qualifying. It wasn't something that was being, like if it was a case of during qualifying, someone was messaging them and saying, why on earth is he out on track? He shouldn't be. Then I'm sure they would have jumped in and done something immediately. But it's only obviously towards the end of the race that this has become apparent as we've been going through penalties. Sort of as we started to realise, chat started to realise what was going on.
Yes, I think
so. Realistically, I think
it dawned, at least whoever's got access to the back end could see that he's actually on that five penalty points. Yeah, I mean, it's a tricky one. I mean, and if I was in the camp of Jean Lacey Racing, it would be something I would question. It's like, well, look what it's taken away from my side of things. It's taken away, a maiden podium that I could have definitely been fighting for then, as we were shouting about on the stream, because I didn't think that Warner was gonna keep that, and I think he probably only did by a few tenths. But I mean, look, hats off to those guys. Still 4th place for Skylar at the end of the day. I know Skylar messaged us and said he's ready to come back in, but I mean, I think that's ship's passed now. But we can always bring it up and see what can be done. I mean, if it was me, obviously, you would probably protest that, wouldn't you? Say, well, it's not my fault that person wasn't told. I should have got that position. I worked to get that position, which just as much as Chris worked to get where he was as well. It's not his fault he wasn't told. It all depends on where it sits with the driver as an individual. If they knew they had 5 license points before going into the session, then they openly knew that they're qualifying when they shouldn't have been. That's the only thing you could kind of like maybe bring up as part of that process. But who knows? And it's not for us to decide. It's only for us to discuss. Never mind. Look, on to the next one. Next time around, we will be back at it again with the fresh vans, as some may say. Let's see, where are we? We're at Silverstone next time out. Is it Zolder for the 90 minutes? I don't think we've got 2 90s on the bounce, have we?
Yeah. No, I don't think it's 2. Is it?
And it's Kyle
oh, it
Army
was
for the
n-
next 90, isn't it?
Yes, it is. Yeah,
that's
that's the next
fantastic.
one.
That one. Okay, no problem. Well, there you go. I mean, that is the end. We actually got quite a few qualifying bans coming through next time. I think you've got Skylar Loverink with a quali ban now. Chris Warner has got himself a quali ban. That will be interesting for next time. So yeah, let's just see how it plays out at Silverstone. You can join us at 7:30 for Silverstone next time out. And also you can join us for Misano Take 2 tomorrow with your kind self at 7:30, same time, same place, where at the moment, Tier 2, let's have a look how that's getting on. Is it spicy still? 188
It's still
points.
very spicy.
Yeah, Fabio,
still
is
pretty
it? Fabio Zerbin currently leading that with 80 points, 70 points in hand. Jonathan Clifford behind, playing with Ritis Kazlukas. Those Lithuanians, damn them. They got such hard names. Yorkie in 4th place behind with Benjamin King following. So there you go. If you want to join us for that, you can tomorrow at 7:30. Is it good racing? Is it fun so far?
It's been some really fantastic racing so far. I mean, as you can see, it hasn't been such a consistent whitewash at the top of the board. There's been a bit of change. You know, Clifford, who's running in 2nd place, has had a 1st. And an 18th. So there's been some real big some changes around the grid. It's not just a few drivers absolutely running away with it. Although you could be said that Zerbin is already having a very good start with a 1st and a 2nd. But it's not. It's all still to play for. We'll say that it's still very much to play for.
No problem at all. Well, if you fancy joining us for that, guys, you can do. Just hop on over to the AOR YouTube, same place as you are now. But from us, at least, for an exhausting Misano, we will see you next week. Goodbye.
See you later.